The Edmonton Oilers battle it out with the Fleur-de-Lis, the Quebec Nordiques. Special edition NHL is next on USA Sports. Tonight's special edition NHL game is brought to you by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light, two of America's great tasting beers. It doesn't get any better than this. By Mobile Detergent Gasoline, power for your everyday driving needs. By the all-new Toyota Corolla Sport Liftback, reborn for 1984, now at your local Toyota dealer. And by Levi's, jeans, cords, and shirts for quality and style you can count on. Tonight's special edition National Hockey League game on USA Sports is a little extra special. A mini NHL All-Star game, if you will. And to tell you what I mean, let's take a look at the NHL's top 5 scorers. We'll begin with Wayne Gretzky, who, despite missing 5 games to a shoulder injury, is leading the league with 189 points. Follow him with Michel Goulet, the great left wing of Quebec, and Peter Stastny, his teammate. Follow that with a defenseman, Paul Coffey of Edmonton, in 4th spot with 106 points, and Yari Curry with 105 points, his teammate, the top 5. And where has all that firepower gotten these two teams? Well, in the Smythe division, you can see it's gotten Edmonton right to the top of the heap. No one will catch them with 105 points and 9 games remaining. The Calgary Flames have been hot lately, and they'll finish in 2nd spot. They've guaranteed themselves a playoff appearance. Vancouver and Winnipeg are battling for 3rd and 4th spot there, and L.A. seems to have faded from the picture. Over in the Adams division, the Buffalo Sabres lead the Boston Bruins. Quebec has also guaranteed themselves a playoff spot. And the Montreal Canadiens seem to have finally eliminated Hartford. It is a 4-point cushion now for Buffalo over Boston, but Quebec still has the Boston Bruins in their sights. And so we have tonight 2 very high-scoring teams, and we think that that'll be very, very special. If these teams meet again in the regular season, it would have to be in the Stanley Cup Finals. That would mean that Quebec would want to have a little confidence going into that confrontation. They don't have that right now. They've lost the 2 previous meetings between these 2 teams, and convincingly. This is the 3rd and final. I'm Al Troutwig. Good evening and welcome to the Coliseum in Quebec City. Filling in for Dan Kelly tonight, who's on another assignment, is Jiggs McDonald, who has more on the Oilers of Edmonton.
Well, I'm looking forward to tonight's hockey game for one reason, and that is the fact that the Edmonton Oilers are very loose. They're under absolutely no pressure, headed for the playoffs, obviously. Wayne Gretzky and his teammates have some personal and some team records that they could establish before the season's out. For instance, Wayne needs 2 points to achieve a .900 career total, something that he's amassed in 6 short NHL seasons. His line mate, Yari Curry, could have a 50-goal year. And if they get 50 goals for Glenn Anderson, who is 45 right now, that would be a new NHL record. 3 50-goal-plus scorers in 1 year. The team a year ago set a new NHL mark for 424 goals in a season. They could smash that. They've already scored 403 and still have 9 games remaining in the regular season. Edmonton, a high-scoring team. Quebec's the second highest-scoring team in the league as well. But they have also tightened up defensively, and that could be a plus for them heading for the playoffs. With some thoughts on that, the professor, Gary Green.
Let's go back a year ago, first of all. The Quebec Nordiques were 16th best, or should I say worst, in the NHL defensively. Now, coming into this season, Michel Bergeron wanted to make great improvements in that area. Improvements he's made. Right now, they are the 4th best defensively in the NHL. That's big strides. Who's going to get to play against Wayne Gretzky tonight? Well, Michel Bergeron has decided that it's going to be the line of Cote, Gillis, and Paymont. Boy, that could sure wreck heck out of a good plus-minus. Del retour en Al. That means, let's go back to you now, Al.
Please don't mind Gary Green. He's been traveling a lot lately. He's tired. Tonight, the Quebec Nordiques and the Edmonton Oilers. Lots of goals. And if goals provide some of the most memorable moments in National Hockey League play, well, then this could be a memorable game. We'll return you live to the sold-out Colisée in Quebec City right after these messages coast to coast on USA Sports.
Vidigo Creek, Louisiana, and Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Vidigo Creek means bass, fat and tasty. And Milwaukee means beer, cold, crisp, old Milwaukee beer, and the smooth golden light taste of old Milwaukee Light.
Old Milwaukee.
And old Milwaukee Light.
Taste as great as their name.
Let me tell you, it doesn't get any better than this.
When you're taking a trip for business or pleasure, it's nice to know the best places to stay and eat along the way. The Mobile Travel Guide comes in 7 regional editions. It quality rates hotels, motels, and restaurants from 1 to 5 stars. You get easy-to-follow maps and coupons worth up to 50% off on attractions and places to stay. The Mobile Travel Guide. It'll make your trip 5-star all the way.
Toyota presents the 5998 Workhorse. A workhorse you can feed big payloads and tough jobs. A workhorse with the power of a herd. But best of all, Toyota let this workhorse out of the barn for only $59.98, a price that hasn't changed in over 2 years. 1984 Toyota Standard Bed. It's leaving the truck world standing on its rear.
Oh, what a feeling, Toyota.
In our world of endless imagination, anything can happen. And those of you who wear Levi's jeans know what I'm talking about. Because anywhere our minds can go, we can follow too. Go ahead, chase a dream in Levi's jeans.
The crowd here at the Coliseum in Quebec City giving a standing ovation to a Canadian national hero recently returned from Sarajevo. There is Gaetan Boucher. He won 2 gold medals and a bronze medal in the Olympic speed skating event. We're in the capital of the province of Quebec where he is being honored now. The members of the Quebec Nordiques are skating toward the center ice area, and Pat Price is lifting Gaetan Boucher to his shoulders, along with Mario Merwa, the captain, and they're going to skate him once around the ice surface here. There will be some presentations made. Just as an update and a reminder, thinking back to the Olympics, Canada went to the gold medal round in hockey. Never had they had anyone in speed skating in all of their Olympic appearances achieve what this young man did. He's returned to a hero's welcome wherever he's gone. He's on his way to Montreal immediately following tonight's game, then on to Ottawa where he'll meet with the Prime Minister, be honored along with Brian Orser, who won the silver medal in the men's figure skating competition. But bravo, Gaetan Boucher. He had trouble getting sponsors. We were talking with the people here at the Nordiques office today, and they were saying 2 years ago when he was honored as one of the upcoming bright amateur athletes in the province of Quebec, he was trying to get people to underwrite the cost of equipment, the skating outfit, new skates. Nobody wanted to do it. Well, now he has returned with a couple of gold medals and the bronze, as I mentioned, and this hero's welcome at the Coliseum.
Giggs, he's a popular young man, and not only just in this province of Quebec, but all across Canada. One might even wonder, seeing how Pierre Trudeau, we're talking about politics on a very political day in the United States, Pierre Trudeau has announced his retirement as Prime Minister of this country. Well, one might wonder whether this young man may not be a very popular choice right now in this country. I think he'll stick to skating.
I understood you had a lock on that job. They continue to applaud Gaetan Boucher. There's reason to believe that he will retain his amateur status, quote unquote, and compete again in Canada in 1988. There are the 2 coaches, Len Sather on the one side. Handshake, and now there'll be some presentations made to Gaetan. The announcements being made in French. So Gaetan waits at the center ice area, the crowd here being informed of the various trophies and plaques that will be presented to him. This is a wood carving. The gentleman to make the presentation was the first coach that Gaetan had. That is Mr. Maurice Gagne. Bravo, Gaetan. Nordiques logo down in the bottom right-hand corner, and the Olympic symbols up in the top left-hand corner. He may have to expand his home to take care of everything that will be coming his way in the next few weeks. Very, very attractive piece.
Speaking of his home, Jiggs, I have seen pictures of his family room, and it is just wall-to-wall plaques, trophies, medals. He's got numerous ones in boxes stored away. Hasn't got place for all of them.
Now the captain of the Edmonton Oilers, Wayne Gretzky. And Wayne has a presentation to make. It's a little different procedure for Wayne. He's usually on the receiving end. With a plaque on behalf of the Edmonton Oilers, honoring Gaetan Boucher.
Et maintenant, le capitaine des Nordiques, Mario Marois.
Mario Marois, the captain of the Quebec Nordiques. He has presented an envelope to Gaetan. And inside the envelope, I'm informed, is a check for $5,000. So now Gaetan Boucher will handle the official face-off between the respective captains. I mentioned earlier that he is not staying for the game. They have had him on a whirlwind tour similar to your schedule, Mr. Green. Now the crowd is being asked to remain standing. Guy Belanger is the soloist here at Quebec City in our Canadian national anthem. Now the officials for tonight's game. The referee will be Andy Van Helleman. He'll be joined by John D'Amico and Gordon Brossiker as the linesmen for this game between the Quebec Nordiques and the Edmonton Oilers. In goal tonight for the Edmonton Oilers, 24-year-old Andy Moog. A record of 22 wins, 8 losses, 1 tie. He has 1 shutout on the season and a very respectable 3.93 goals against average. 33-year-old Daniel Bouchard will be in goal for the Nordiques. He has the second highest win total in the league, 26 victories, 15 losses, 7 ties, 1 shutout, and a 3.17 goals against average. There are 3 other games being played in the National Hockey League tonight. The Hartford Whalers will be in St. Louis. The New York Islanders and the New Jersey Devils playing in New Jersey tonight. And out on the West Coast, the Vancouver Canucks will be playing host to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Third meeting of the year between these two teams. Edmonton has won both of the previous games. In fact, have won 3 in a row over Quebec, outscoring them 22-8.
Well, let's go back to what we were saying earlier about Gillis, Cote, and Paymont tonight, who are expected to play the majority of the evening against Gretzky, Curry, and Posar. Now, that all depends on how well, I suppose, they check Gretzky's line. But initially, Michel Bergeron does not want them to worry about shadowing them. He just wants to play man-per-man defense and offense out there. Wants the forecheck with 2 men in. Let's see how it goes.
Gillis won the draw from Gretzky, getting it back to Marois. Dumps it in wide of Andy Moog. Cote goes in for it along with Gillis. He put it out in front. Moog steered that aside. Cote fired one across in front of the net. Run out by Curry. A pass to Gretzky that went off his stick. And Marois slapped it back into center ice. The Oilers move up quickly. Posar bumped in the play by Gillis. The puck goes to Marois on a hand pass. Thus we're going to face off outside the Quebec blue line. Winning the face-offs from Gretzky will be trouble enough for Gillis, let alone shadowing him.
Well, there's a man that's not too bad as well. Jari Curry. He was out for a number of games this year when he had a bad groin injury. They were wise at keeping him out. 12 games was what he missed. He's a pretty good right winger for Wayne Gretzky to play with.
You had a look at the dapper Glenn Sather behind the Edmonton bench, and there's Posar with the puck to Gretzky on right wing. Posar lets the shot go, and Bouchard made the pad save. The rebound cleared to Paymont, who overskated it. Posar very quickly held it in, but got it right to the stick of Gillis, who comes over the line with a drive. He clears! Gillis, a shot from inside the blue line. The Nordiques take the lead.
I guess they're doing a good job so far, Jig, covering that Gretzky line. What a way to start the evening out. Watch Gillis. He just steps over the blue line and blasts one. Now, that might be a problem for a goaltender. You put yourself in Andy Moog's shoes, and you probably won't expect a lot of shots from Gillis's line tonight, especially when they've got more of a defensive checking job. Concentration.
Gary Gillis gets only his 7th goal of the year. It comes at the 42-second mark. And the Nordiques jump out in front of the Edmonton Oilers. Bouchard left the puck back in the goal. Jimmy Mann up on right wing. Fed it ahead for Hunter. Dale Hunter across the line. Waited. Tried to give the pass to Mann. Jimmy Mann dumps it back in the net. Kevin Lowe is checked. Lowe recovers. They move it around the left wing boards and down into the Quebec territory. Rochefort will go back to touch up. Edmonton will be called for having iced the puck.
This game is authorized under television rights granted by the National Hockey League as intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Hockey League is strictly prohibited.
You have a look at number 99, Wayne Gretzky. His Oilers have just completed a 5-game homestand in which they won 3 and lost 2. That's a very quick trip. They'll play here tonight, obviously, and then in Montreal on Thursday and go right back home. They have Anderson out with Lumley and Messier as the Edmonton forward line. They're in forechecking deep in the Quebec zone. The puck went to Anderson. He's tied up by Dory. Bouchard comes out of the net. Banked it off the glass out into center ice where Chartrand picked it up and shot it right back in. The Oilers forced back now as the Quebec Nordiques come over the line. Peter Stastny playing with Goulet on his left. Works it around the board out of the reach of Anton Stastny, and here's Messier over center ice. Messier with a shot wide of Bouchard. Anderson goes in after the rebound, got bumped on the play by Dory. Puck comes back to Lapointe. Lapointe on the Quebec defense to Goulet. Pass to Stastny off his stick. Peter Stastny chases it to the corner. Anton parked at the side of the net, but the pass didn't arrive, and Marois tips it back inside the Quebec territory. Marois and Pat Price together for the Nordiques on defense. That's Price on the left side, shooting it wide of Moog. It'll be picked up by Paul Coffey. Linsman is out with Semenko and Lindstrom for Edmonton. Charlie Huddy, the other Edmonton defenseman, has dumped it in wide of the net. Quebec leading 1-0 as Marois picks up the puck. Marois taking control, turned to get away from Lindstrom. Lindstrom got bumped on the play as well, and here's Berglund with it. Berglund, big pass to McKechnie, then right back to Savard as he broke into the Edmonton zone. He and Huddy tied up. Now the puck comes loose. McKechnie unable to get out in front of the net. Lindstrom dumps it back in the goal where it was blocked him out in front and off the stick of McKechnie and wide. The Oilers clear to center ice where Rochefort was waiting for it. Back to Moeller. Moeller up the right side for Berglund into the center ice zone where Lindstrom intercepted the pass. Back to Charlie Huddy. Knocked away from him at the blue line. Controlled by Rochefort. We played 3 minutes and 15 seconds of the opening period. Quebec leading 1-0 on a goal by Jerry Gillis. The Nordiques hemmed in their own zone at the moment. The puck loose in the corner to the right of Bouchard. It overcomes Rochefort. Thanks went off the glass and up into the crowd. For our local systems, we'll pause now. The Edmonton Oilers trailing the Quebec Nordiques. The National Hockey League is coming your way on the USA Network.
Remember that this week on USA Sports, 2 very important matchups. First of all, from the Capitol Center on Sunday night, it'll be the St. Louis Blues against the Washington Capitals. The Caps were so impressive in their 2-1 victory over Boston Sunday night from Boston Garden here on USA. Then on Monday night NHL, the Chicago Blackhawks take on the Montreal Canadiens. That's all on USA Sports, where you'll see the Stanley Cup playoffs.
All set for a face-off to the right of the Quebec goal. This time Gretzky got the draw back to Lowe. Out in front, Posar was checked. And Goulet fed it ahead quickly for Paymont. Right back to Cote to the right side. Here's Pat Price. Centers one in front to score. Cote.
What a start this line's having so far, as now Cote picks up a goal. This line has been responsible for both Quebec goals, and they're just supposed to be checkers tonight. Good pass here by Pat Price. Good tip in.
Cote's goal comes at the 3:40 mark. Gary Green said a nice pass from Price, the defenseman who would come in on the right side. Posar gets in across the Quebec line to Gretzky to Posar, and he was checked by Cote. Gillis picked up the puck as Cote fell into the boards. Play has been called, and the Quebec training staff will come out to attend to Alain Cote, who just gave his team a 2-0 lead a moment ago.
He went down rather hard into that boards area. I don't know whether he slipped their jigs on something on the ice. It appeared that way. Either something was on the ice or he's lost an edge in his skate.
I turned with the puck. I saw him lift his one skate, and then as the other seemed to be in the turning motion, down he went and into the boards without any opportunity to fend off the collision. Let's take a look.
Well, it appears as though maybe it was the Oilers' stick that was up underneath of his arms that kind of took him off balance. It doesn't appear to be his ankle or his leg, though. It's instead his forehead that may be a bit cut.
He is headed for the Quebec bench and probably on into the dressing room. This line, as Gary told us at the beginning of the game, put together as a checking line to take care of Gretzky, Posar, and Curry. They've not only taken care of them to this point, but they have taken the Quebec Nordiques to a 2-0 lead. Gillis' 7th goal, Cote is 14th. Price and Paymont with the assist on Cote's goal. Now the Nordiques break out as Paymont dumped it to the Edmonton line. The Oilers trying to get on track at center ice. There's Gretzky with the pass for Curry. Curry parks on the left wing boards to Posar, and his shot went wide of Bouchard. Vogelin in from the blue line, had it knocked away from him. Picked up at center ice, but has been knocked down by a high stick, and thus the whistle.
When we take a look at Yaroslav Posar, Posar has been assigned to that left wing position. It's not an easy position to play with Gretzky and Curry. They have tried numerous players throughout the course of the year. Messier, Anderson has been there. Semenko, you recall from time to time, especially last year, was in that position. Posar, a very skillful player, has had problems consistency-wise, though, performing in this league.
I want to find out why you think it would be tough to play with Wayne Gretzky. thought that was a job I could do. Price dumps the puck up into the seats. We're going to face off back in the center ice zone as a result. With the score, the Quebec Nordiques 2, the Edmonton Oilers nothing. We'll return right after this.
When tax time hits, so does the paperwork. That's when you need this, the Texas Instruments Printing Calculator. It turns all your facts and figures into one permanent record. And since it's portable, you can use it anywhere. This tax season, get the Texas Instruments Calculator that can get it all together for you. The portable, affordable TI 5030 from Texas Instruments.
A look at Dave Semenko at the Edmonton bench. A little jostling went on after the whistle. Everything back to order. Gillis against Gretzky on the face-off. And again, the Nordiques got it away from number 99. Here's Marois. The pass to Gillis. Steps across the line. Went to the right side to Paymont. To Gillis. And it slipped through. Comes off the left wing board. They have Andre Savard playing on the left side, replacing Coche at the moment. Marois slaps it out of his own zone. Bounces down inside the Quebec territory. It's over the goal line. Charlie Huddy touches up for the icing. We've played less than 5 minutes of this opening period. I want to go back to something you said, Gary. I'm playing left wing with Wayne Gretzky. I figured you just had to be able to get to the net. He'd get you the puck. There's nothing else to do.
I think they've had some difficulties trying to find that right-left side for Wayne Gretzky. And you could be, well, very correct in saying that almost anybody can play with Wayne Gretzky. That is very true. I think Wayne Gretzky can probably make a 30-40 goal scorer out of either you or I out there.
Well, you maybe, not me.
But anyway, finding the right left winger for Wayne Gretzky has been a little bit difficult. They've sure got a good one on the right side, but they've been juggling somewhat on that left position.
We're watching Mark Messier at center ice tonight on this line for Edmonton. He had played the left side, and about a month ago, the coaching staff in Edmonton elected to move him to center, and he's been far more productive there. Peter Stastny to Anton Stastny on the right side. Up to the left in center ice. Dick handles to the Quebec line and was pulled down, and the first penalty of the game will go to the Edmonton Oilers. Quebec Nordiques with a power play that has been fairly good on the road, but not so good at home. They're 20th in the league on home ice, 7th in the league on the road. There's what set up the penalty.
Well, as we take a look at Messier in the penalty box, Quebec, as you stated, that's amazing statistic, Jake, that you can be so good on the road and yet so poor in your own building. One has to wonder as to whether or not the anxiety at home, sometimes the fans get on you and you don't perform as well. Especially in this type of power play with Quebec, they like to take their time and set it up. Fans can get impatient with that.
Now we'll see what happens here. Marois controlling the puck, gave it to Sauvé, and stolen by Linsman, but he couldn't catch up with it. Bouchard to Marois, out to Goulet on left wing. Goulet got checked. Gretzky is out as a penalty killer. Here's Goulet starting out once more, comes over center ice. At the Edmonton line, couldn't split the defense, and Kevin Lowe slaps it off the board, does the center. Marois waits, trying to play it across to Anton Stastny. Sauvé moved up neatly. Sauvé trying to get in around Lowe. Comes off the left wing board, giving it to Anton Stastny. Sauvé being bothered by Gretzky. Peter Stastny unable to control it. It was in and out of the skates of Gretzky and picked up by Sauvé. His centering attempt was blocked by Gretzky. Now here's Peter Stastny with it. Back to the point to Sauvé. To Marois. That's the shot goal. Oh, it came off the post and underneath Bowles. Cleared out of there, and the Oilers forced the Quebec Nordiques to chase it. 58 seconds remaining in Messier's penalty time. Marois goes to the left side to Sauvé. Out to center ice, tried to set up Berglund, and that was broken up. Dave Hunter for Edmonton. That is pass intercepted by Sauvé. Cross to McKegney. It was too well covered. Down comes Coffey. Over the, well, he turned at the line as Hughes was in ahead of the play. Now Hunter for Edmonton. Gave it to Pat Hughes. Hughes shot from a bad angle, and had it deflected up into the seats.
As we take a look at Pat Hughes, I saw him play one game this year where he scored 5 goals all in one game. That was his highest for a career. Let's take a look at this last save by Andy Moog, and watch Goulet over to the side of the net. He just had a glorious opportunity. Had that puck come his way, Moog making the save, however. Goulet parked right on the doorstep.
Following the face-off, the puck loose behind the Quebec goal and picked up by Dory. 25 seconds left in the Quebec power play. McKegney to Hunter. Broken up as they came to the Edmonton line. Hunter went in after it. It's smothered now by Moog, and there's no further play. We have the two Hunter brothers to contend with tonight. Dale Hunter, number 32 for Quebec, and his brother, Dave Hunter, number 12 for Edmonton, as you look at Andy Moog.
I think the big question right now in this city, Jigs, is to whether or not and how long Dale Hunter is going to be playing for this Nordiques team. They have a hearing tomorrow in Montreal concerning Dale Hunter. He was involved in a stick incident with the Buffalo Sabres. Word is that he may get a fair number of game suspension. Michel Bergeron, the coach of the Nordiques, is very worried about that.
Backhander at the side of the net was covered and cleared back to the goal. Now play is called. And the slashing penalty is the indication from referee Andy Van Helleman. Appears to have caught Will Paymont with the stick up in the air. For our local systems, we'll pause now. The National Hockey League is coming your way on the USA Network.
Time is running out on your worn-out, inefficient furnace and air conditioner. But that's just as well, because right now, Great Lakes Heating and Cooling will buy your energy waster at our Blue Book value, any brand or condition, when you buy a new, high-efficiency Carrier air conditioner or furnace. And Great Lakes will give you an additional $300 rebate when you purchase a Carrier heat pump system. Don't let time run out. Call Great Lakes now for a free estimate. Call 581-1400. Your old system could be worth a lot more than you think.
The penalty is to Paymont for slashing at 7:07. Messier's tripping penalty has just expired, so Quebec now with the power play, and Coffey fired it right into Bouchard's catching glove. Bouchard, who has not been tested tonight, fired at the length of the ice. Oh, got to the goal. Up to the right wing side for Gretzky to Messier. Flips in across the line. Messier back to Curry. Lets it go, and it was wide of the net. Bouchard gives it to Marois, the Quebec captain. Dumps it out into the center ice zone. Back goes Charlie Huddy. Huddy joined by Coffey on defense. Messier, Curry, and Gretzky, the Edmonton forwards. This is Curry. His pass deflected by Goulet. Went right to Hunter. Back to Price and out of Marois. Marois finds an opening, and the Oilers will chase it deep into their own territory. 55 seconds gone in Paymont's penalty. Quebec leading 2-0. The Oilers try to come down the right side. Messier gets tangled up. Managed to propel the puck to Gretzky, however. Gretzky to Curry, in along the boards. Wayne Gretzky looks for some help. Backs into the corner with it. Gave it to Curry. Over to Coffey, and Bouchard got in front of that. The rebound is off the right pad of Bouchard and slapped out of there by Goulet.
Some real pressure by the Oilers. That is why they are the second-best power play in the NHL.
Gretzky with the puck. Gave it to Anderson, who comes in on right wing. And Anderson forced to dump it back to the net. It went right to Gretzky with an empty net. Comes out. Tucci scores. Wayne Gretzky. That's number 82 on the year.
He sure makes it look easy. He's as smooth as glass out there. He picks up that puck in the corner, walks right around Rochefort, just picks the corner and picks it nicely. Didn't have to really drive that puck. He knew where he wanted to put it, and so he just slid it right along the ice.
There's another look at it. Bouchard got caught back of the net, Gary, in all fairness to the Quebec goaltender. Does that count in the goals against? I guess it'll have to. It's the power play goal for Gretzky at the 8:44 mark, unassisted. So the score is Quebec 2, Edmonton 1. Semenko went for the puck. It comes out in front. Bouchard, a good save, and then he covered up in the rebound as Cote came back to help out. And a hand pass being called by referee Andy Van Helleman. Lindstrom tested Bouchard a couple of times on that left side of the Quebec goal.
Interesting when you talk about Wayne Gretzky, you think of his great scoring records, but he surprisingly scores almost as many goals and assists on the road as he does at home. He definitely isn't a homer. He shows his skills and his talents to all the teams in the league.
Lindstrom is out with Lindstrom and Semenko for Edmonton. McKegney over on left wing, unable to clear the puck out for the Quebec Nordiques. And here's Lapointe. Down to McKegney. To Hunter as man with him on right wing. Hunter gets over the Edmonton line. Got checked by Chartrand. The puck came right back to Hunter, but Chartrand had him covered all the way. This is Willie Lindstrom. The pass for Lindstrom was deflected and slapped off an Edmonton stick. The Oilers are offside with 10 minutes and 37 seconds left in this first period.
We take a look at number 6, Rick Lapointe. I have to mention that Michel Bergeron, in talking to him before the game, was not too pleased with the way that his team played 2 out of their last 3 games. He said, how can we play so poorly in the last 10 games of the season when we're entering that last 10-game season span? They lost in Winnipeg, a 6-5 overtime game. They beat Pittsburgh on the road, but they lost also to Washington. That's not too disgraceful to lose to a club like Washington by any stretch of imagination, the best defensive team in the league.
And playing very, very well as they head into the last few games. Bouchard did a little step dance around the puck. Got some help from his teammates, and the Oilers are forced back into the center ice zone. Lowe lost it at the blue line, then recovered to knock it away from Peter Stastny. Edmonton trying to come up the left side. Hunter couldn't pick up the puck. Goulet for the Nordiques fires it in around the glass. It got away from Moog. Kevin Lowe moves it down the boards. It'll be recovered inside the Quebec territory by Moeller. Gave it to Rochefort and across to Peter Stastny. Marion Stastny not in the lineup for Quebec tonight, suffering a shoulder injury. The Nordiques leading 2-1. Anton Stastny sent Goulet across the line, but he ran into Fogelin's check. Out at center ice, Anton Stastny passed it behind Goulet. McClelland is stripped of the puck. He and Goulet collided on the boards. Once more, Rochefort starts to pay. There was to Anton Stastny, but the Nordiques are offside.
That line of Goulet, Stastny, and Stastny have had a tough time getting going out there tonight. Now they go offside. Anton and Marion doing a lot of weaving, and that in itself must be difficult for a guy like Michel Goulet to fit in with. He's such a talented player, two-way left winger out there, but you've got to admit the Stastnys weave a great deal out there. You've got to be smart just to play with them.
Out from the point, there was shot, went off Pozar, picked up by Cote on right wing. Checked in turn by Coffey. The Nordiques pounce on the puck quickly. Cote got it to Gillis. Comes back on the right side. Paymont shot. That's went off Coffey and wide of the net. Centered once more. Picked up by Paymont. Can't get the shot away, and Pozar sends Gretzky into center ice. Left side to Curry, to Gretzky. Checked by Price, recovers, shoots Bouchard, the stick save. There was. Leaves it up in the right side, picked up by Paymont at center ice. Over to Cote. Cote, unable to get it back to Paymont. He recovers in the corner, then was checked as Pozar caught up with him. There's Slav Pozar trying to move it out of the zone. Now Huddy picks it up on the right side. Checked at center ice. Pat Price waiting at the Quebec line. Just clears it inside the Edmonton zone, and back goes Paul Coffey. Quebec changing on the fly. Coffey's pass to Gretzky caught the Edmonton center offside. So we're going to play stoppage here. The National Hockey League is coming to you coast to coast on USA. We'll be back.
It takes guts to redesign one of the world's most popular cars. Introducing Toyota Corolla, Reborn. This sport liftback was reborn to please you with its balanced handling. Reborn to please your friends with its surprising performance. Reborn to please anyone with its low Toyota price. The 1984 Toyota Corolla Sport Liftback. Reborn to please the world.
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
The situation is this in Quebec City. 8 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in the first period. The Nordiques are leading the Edmonton Oilers by a score of 2-1. Gillis and Cote for Quebec. Gretzky with a power play goal for the Oilers. That's Lumley with the puck. Played it to the right side for Anderson. Across to Messier. In deep, pulls it out in front. The backhander hit Bouchard on the top of the helmet. And Lapointe backhands it down into the Edmonton zone. Gregg chasing it. It's in front of Goulet, and we get an icing call against Quebec.
If I were the Quebec defenseman right now, I think I'd be deciding to take the body in front of that net area. First of all, we saw Gretzky score a goal from walking right in. Now watch Messier, no defenseman in sight. when they finally get there, they're just ready to use their stick. They've got to take the body out a little bit sooner. Messier making a great play. Almost went to his backhand. I think he was a little bit too much off balance to be able to get it up and over Bouchard.
Bouchard will tell you tomorrow, or maybe even later tonight, that he certainly used his head in making that save. Now here's Anton Stastny trying to get around Gregg, and he shot it wide. Anton went after the rebound, was too well covered. Messier gave it to Lumley on right wing, now to Anderson. Across the Quebec line and back neatly to steal the puck was Peter Stastny. Bouchard helps out in getting it to Lapointe. The Quebec defenseman shot it off the boards. Edmonton could have played the puck they rule, so Chartres will have to go back. Chartres round to the left wing side. This is Glenn Anderson. Anderson gets over the Quebec line, trying to cut to the right, was checked by Hunter. Dale Hunter fires it into the Edmonton zone, wide of the net. Lee Fogelin in after it, so was Berglund, tied up Fogelin. Nordiques can't get set up at the moment. Hunter back of the goal. Checked by McClelland out in front of the net. Berglund in a wrestling match. Play goes on. And the Oilers have forced the Quebec Nordiques to chase the puck. Little more than 7 minutes to play in the opening period here at Quebec City. Berglund for Quebec Nordiques couldn't send Hunter away in center ice. Now Hughes drops it back. A drive. Bouchard the stick save, and the rebound is cleared out into the center ice zone. Going back for it is Lee Fogelin. He and Lowe together on the Edmonton defense. They have Hughes, McClelland, and Hunter as the forward line. Fogelin gave it to Lowe. Lowe to the left side. Good pass right to McClelland. Gets across the line, but offside as Anderson, or Hughes rather, had broken in ahead of the puck carrier.
Now we take a look at number 24, Kevin McClelland. They acquired him from the Pittsburgh Penguins this year in a deal that sent Tom Ralston to Pittsburgh. McClelland, he's added a little bit of aggressiveness to that center ice position. He's a big man, and I think behind Gretzky and Lindsman, they have now got some added depth. And remember that they have got Messier playing at center ice now, so I think that move gave the Oilers that added strength and depth down the middle.
Savard is at center ice now for Quebec, facing off against Lindsman, and Coffey dumps the puck into the Quebec zone. Jimmy Mann coming back, got tied up with Semenko. The point missed it. Savard goes to the corner, running into Lindstrom. Managed to shoot it down into the Edmonton zone, forcing Coffey to go back quickly. Around to Dave Semenko. Semenko put it into Lindsman's skate. And Lindsman back to Semenko. Flipped it into the corner. Jimmy Mann steps in front of Lindstrom. Gets some help. Cote nudged to the head for Savard, who comes out on the right side. Savard across the Edmonton line, checked from behind by Coffey, still managed to get a shot away, and it hit Huddy. Huddy and Savard tie it up on the board. Puck still in play, and back to Jimmy Mann. Mann's backhander went through the goal mouth. Goulet chases it to the corner, gets away from Coffey's check, tried to slip back to the net, and Coffey caught up with him. Here's Lindstrom, but a hand pass has been called as the Oilers went to move it man to man. For our local systems, we'll pause now. The National Hockey League is coming your way on USA.
At Harvey Buick, we know that good service means more than just friendly personal attention. It also means keeping up with the latest in automotive service technology and keeping enough parts on hand to do the job today. Good service means convenience. Our computer schedules a specific appointment for your car and tells you what time your car will be ready for pickup. At Harvey Buick, good service means technology and people working together to provide the best care for your automobile.
5.5 minutes remaining in the opening period. I'm Jakes McDonald with Gary Green and Al Troutwick. Quebec Nordiques hosting the Edmonton Oilers tonight and leading by a score of 2-1.
Obviously, Alain Cote is all right back out on that line with Gillis and Paymont. And as expected, Wayne Gretzky is back out there to face off against them.
Gretzky pulled the puck back to Randy Gregg, who's chased to the corner. Quebec forechecking well. They got the puck out in front of the net, but it was blocked at the defense. Now Chartres dumped it into center. Marois had it there for a moment, gave it to Paymont. And again, they forced Edmonton to cover up. This is Randy Gregg. Cote on top of him in a hurry. The puck comes back to Price. His shot deflected by Paymont and wide. They'll try the left side this time. Mark Messier taken out on the boards by Gillis's check. Paymont cleared the puck. Came loose, picked up by Curry, has Gretzky with him on left wing. Jari Curry runs into Price, and Cote recovers the puck. Alain Cote to Merwa. Merwa to the left side. Good pass to Gillis as he broke in around the defense. Goes back to the net with it centered, but Gregg was there. Gregg tries the left side of the Edmonton zone. Wayne Gretzky feeds it ahead. Here's Pozar coming across the Quebec line. Runs into Lapointe, and Bouchard out of the net failed to pick up the puck and fell over top of Pozar. Bouchard slapped the ice with the stick, trying to get Pozar's attention, and I think he succeeded. In the meantime, the Oilers start from their own zone. Gretzky put it right on the stick of McKegney. The two of them go to the boards together. The puck comes loose, and Curry slaps it around the board. Bouchard cuts it off. Played it to the corner for Lapointe. Rick Lapointe slaps it ahead to McKegney. Now to Merwa. Merwa to McKegney, gets over the Edmonton line. The pass to Berglund, lets the shot go, and it was blocked by Kevin Lowe. Bounces all the way back inside the Quebec zone where Merwa picks it up. Gave it to Lapointe, then up the left side. McKegney was checked. They'll get a Nyson call. Well, it's waved off as Lowe was back in time. They ruled. The puck came loose in front of the Edmonton goal. Kevin Lowe ahead for Anderson. Anderson gets across the line. The pass to Messier on left wing. He shoots. Bouchard the save, and Rochefort slaps the rebound to the blue line. Vogelin works it in on right wing. There's Messier trying to get around Rochefort. The quick shot. Bouchard blocked Anderson's stride. Messier centers again, and that's broken up this time by Dory. McKegney got a piece of Messier as Anderson handles the puck. Back to the point. Vogelin's shot hit Messier. Vogelin picks it up, dumped it to the corner. There's Rochefort slapping it off the board. This will go the length of the ice. Kevin Lowe chases it. And again, icing has been waved off. Lowe to Anderson. Anderson trying to send Lumley in on the left side. That was broken up. Now McClellan chasing the puck. Kevin McClellan hit hard by Lapointe. Peter Stastny across to Goulet. Moves up with Anton Stastny over the Edmonton line. The pass to Anton is shot a stick save by Moog. Bowler moves in off the right point. Lets the shot go. Pad save. The rebound ended up on the doorstep and kicked out by Moog. Anderson feeds it up into the center ice zone for Hughes. Is checked by Anton Stastny. Now McClellan carries on. He and Lapointe wrestle one another around in the corner. The puck frozen on the boards with 2.5 minutes to play in the opening period. You're watching the National Hockey League, and this is the USA Network.
How do competitive air delivery services stack up? Leading Services deliver a 10-pound package coast to coast for $44. With UPS Next Day Air, the same package costs $21. And if the package doesn't have overnight urgency, UPS Second Day Air costs $11.50. UPS Next Day Air and Second Day Air, from the service American business depends on. Any way you stack it, UPS saves you money from the ground up.
Getting ready for a face-off to the left of Daniel Bouchard in the Quebec goal, and the Nordiques got the draw. Lapointe has cleared it, however. It'll go wide of Andy Moog. Paul Coffey to touch up, and an icing call against the Nordiques. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the period. Edmonton is out shooting Quebec about 2-1 at this juncture of the game. But the hometown team, the Quebec Nordiques, jumped on them early. The checking line scored twice. Gillis and Cote before Gretzky was able to reply with a power play goal. The Nordiques, as Gary Green had mentioned, have just completed a 3-game road trip. This will be their only home game before they head out for 3 more on the road. Bowler worked it around the boards. It's picked up and centered by McClellan. Tipped high and out into the center ice zone where Coffey takes over. Gave it to Hunter. Hunter, good pass for McClellan. Comes over the line with Hughes. McClellan got bumped, knocked down by Lapointe's check. And the Nordiques break out. 3-on-2. Anton Stastny moves over the line. Peter heads for the net, and Anton overskated the puck. Edmonton moves back quickly, led by Coffey. Cuts to the right side. The defenseman lets the shot go, and it was deflected wide of Bouchard. Here's McClellan to Coffey. Turns. Couldn't get a shot away. Peter Stastny comes back. Over the center ice stripe. Cuts to the left across the Edmonton line to Goulet, and he shot it wide. Now with 1.5 minutes left, the Oilers into the center ice zone. They're trying to make a player change. Succeed with that as the Edmonton Oilers now find themselves in the situation of going to the power play. Linesman Gord Brossiker catching Quebec in the middle of a player change with too many men on the ice. This will set up the second Edmonton power play of the game. Penalty coming at 18:35. One of those things that happen now and then. The play moved up the right side. Michel Bergeron, the Quebec coach, Simon Nollet, his assistant, not too happy with the situation. They were in the middle of a change and had too many men on the ice. In behind linesman John D'Amico is Wilf Paymont. He'll be down in the studio with Al Troutwick at the end of the first period. Started his National Hockey League career with the Colorado Rockies, Kansas City Scouts operation. Went on to Toronto, eventually to Quebec City, where he really has come into his own in the last few years. The penalty is going to be served by Paymont. Called at 18:35. Gillis and Savard move up as the forwards. Price and Marois on defense for Quebec. Gretzky on the face-off, pulled it back to Gregg, now to Messier. Mark Messier takes a look. Gave the puck to Anderson, back to Gregg. Gregg gets over the line, trying to make the play into the corner to Messier. Messier had it knocked off his stick by Price. Gretzky picks it up. Back to the point, here's Curry, lets the shot go, hits the post. Hit the post to the right of Bouchard. Messier gets tangled up on the boards. A minute to play in the period. Curry moves in, lets the shot go to get it, hit the post. Two in a row in the same place for Curry. Curry feeds it to Gregg. Randy Gregg centers. Gretzky tipped it right on, and Bouchard able to cover up. Comes back to Curry, to Messier. Messier moves in deep, a centering attempt blocked by Marois. He goes back of his own goal, slips away from Gretzky, and fires it down into the Edmonton zone. 33 seconds left in the period as Curry picked it up. Gary Curry, long pass to Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky gave it to Anderson, now to Linsman on left wing. Linsman goes in deep. Anderson to the side of the net, the pass back to Gretzky. Holds on to it, takes it back of the net, his favorite spot from which to make the play. 13 seconds left as he comes out in front. Oh, and Bouchard just got a piece of it. Gretzky down, the puck loose. Linsman poking at it. And the Nordiques are charged with a hand pass with exactly 3 seconds remaining in the period. Curry with a couple of great chances with shots from the blue line. And then Gretzky from back of the net trying one of his favorite plays of slipping out to the side, only to be thwarted at the last moment. Gary Curry, those shots from the point. Bang, off the post to the right. Got another shot at it. Hit the same post again. With a little help from my friends, the theme running through Daniel Bouchard's mind right now. Big face-off here. McClelland will take the draw for Edmonton. It'll be Peter Stastny for the Nordiques. Edmonton has pulled the goaltender. They have the extra man, got the draw back over to Curry, but the siren beats him. He missed the net with that blast. Glenn Sather trying a little expertise in the last 3 seconds of the period, but it did not work. They'll still have 36 seconds left with the power play when the second period begins. The shots on goal in the period by the Edmonton Oilers, 11, by the Quebec Nordiques, 5. Coming up, Will Paymont, the man you see on your screen right now, will be guesting with Al Troutwick down in our studio. After one period of play, the score is the Quebec Nordiques 2, the Edmonton Oilers 1. Our first intermission activities begin in just a moment.
Here comes the most advanced piece of machinery in shaving history. The new Norelco Rotatract, the razor that challenges the world. Every blade, every electric, every shaving instrument ever made. In closeness, comfort, speed, and quality. It's the shaving machine you've been waiting for, or your money back. Advanced technology Rotatract razors. The first to challenge the world. New from Norelco.
It takes guts to redesign one of the world's most popular cars. Introducing Toyota Corolla Reborn. This family sedan was reborn to please you with more comfort. Reborn to please your family with more room. Reborn to please anyone with its mileage and affordability. The 1984 front-wheel drive Toyota Corolla. Reborn to please the world.
Out in the West, where Levi Strauss & Company began, a man expects his clothes to keep him comfortable and free as the wind. So he wears a Levi's action suit, knowing he'll feel as good as he looks. Because of the waistband that moves right with it. Because of the fabric that gives. In a Levi's action suit, a man can go comfortably anywhere and do it in style. From Levi's Menswear.
Boy, a lot of folks are going to give you problems because you're an outsider. You're dangerous. You know, I'm trying to fit in here, and every door is getting slammed in my face.
Just because he hasn't lived in this town for 20 years doesn't make him a troublemaker.
Is there a law against loud music? Watch that attitude, boy. It's my fight, you know. It's with the town. It's not with one guy.
Do you want to kiss me?
Someday.
Footloose, rated PG.
Now playing at a theater near you. Check newspapers for local listings.
Back live on USA Sports, a special edition of the National Hockey League, where from the Colisée in Quebec City, we've seen one period of play between the Nordiques and the Edmonton Oilers. And for now, it is the Quebec Nordiques leading the Oilers 2-1. Gary Green and Jiggs McDonald have been talking quite a lot of the line of Gillis, Paymont, and Cote. They struck early against the Edmonton Oilers. And with me in our studio right now is the right-wing member of that line, Wilf Paymont. Wilf, right off the bat, you hit Edmonton for 2 goals. That had to be very good, knowing that Edmonton would come out firing, too.
Oh, definitely. You know, Edmonton beat Vancouver the other night pretty good. And, you know, we had to be prepared for them. And, you know, luckily we got 2 goals the first 2 shifts we were on the ice.
You think you'll be able to keep that going?
I think so. You know, if I keep out of the penalty box, you know, Edmonton, you can't give them too many power plays. And, you know, with Gretzky out there and all the scores that they have, we got to check them really well and get out of the penalty box.
Well, coming on the air tonight, we talked about the 5 scorers that are in the league and in this game tonight, and all the goals that your team scores and all the goals that Edmonton scores. But what about your team defensively? That's going to be important in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Well, you know, the last 4 or 5 games we haven't been playing really well defensively, but you know, in the league, I think we're 4th overall defensively. So I think we've improved a lot since last year, and it shows in our standing too. I think the hockey club has improved an awful lot. The goaltending's been playing well, and the defense and the forwards are coming back for them, and I think we're playing all around a little better than we did last year defensively.
How about yourself? 38 goals, right up there in the team scoring. Are you satisfied with what you've done this year?
Well, you know, you're never satisfied till you're on top, but you know, I'm pleased compared to last year. You know, last year I was struggling quite a bit, and this year I'm putting the puck in the net a lot more than I was last year, and you know, I'm pleased compared to last year.
How important do you think it is for your team to catch Boston in the Adams division and get the home ice advantage?
Well, you know how it is in the playoffs. If you can get the ice advantage, it's always a plus. But you know, we've been at the head all year with them, and you know, they're 5 points ahead of us now. 9 games left. You know, I haven't lost hope, but hopefully that you know, we can get the home ice, and if we do, we all know how important it is.
Now, we think playing right wing in the National Hockey League is tough. Keeping track of 16 birthdays in the Paymont family must not be very easy either.
Oh, certainly, especially if I'm the baby. You know, I came along, you know, there's only maybe 8 or 9 left at home, and all the others were married. So, you know, we're a happy family, and, you know, we were raised on the farm, and we had a good time. We're all together in there, and we're all having a good time.
If they ever all decide to come to one game at the same time, you're going to have to buy some tickets, aren't you?
It's going to cost me a fortune. I'll have to play just for that.
Now, Michel Bergeron has been a little upset with the way the team has been playing lately. What has he said to the team? What is he specifically upset with?
Well, you know, the last 2 or 3 games, I think, you know, going to Winnipeg and even Washington the other night, they scored 3 goals, I think, in the first 10 minutes of the first period. And, you know, maybe we're sleeping a little bit, you know, starting the last 2 or 3 games. And I think he's been upset a little bit about that and, you know, about our defensive plays. But what can I say? You know, you can't go worse now. We just got to, you know, shape up and, you know, tighten up a little bit, and I think we'll do all right.
Now, in the first period, you said the key was staying out of the penalty box. Periods 2 and 3, is there something specific you want to do against Wayne Gretzky, or just stay with him stride for stride?
Well, you know, we got the last change, so we can put whoever we want against him, and you know how good he is. He takes advantage of all the chances that he gets, and you can't give him too many. And you know, what can I say? You just got to watch the 5 players on the ice while they're out there with him, and hopefully that we'll end up on top.
Well, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Wilf Paymont of the Quebec Nordiques, our guest in between periods 1 and 2 here on USA Sports. And for being our guest, he'll receive from Kodak the exciting new Kodak disc camera that's so easy to use, You never miss a picture. A little Nordiques history for you. Back in May of 1973, Jacques Plante signed a 10-year contract to be coach and general manager of the Quebec Nordiques. It lasted less than 2 seasons, and now you can find Jacques Plante as an assistant coach of the Montreal Canadiens. Coming up, the Frenchman, Gary Green, will join us for news in the NHL when we continue on USA Sports in a moment. Every year, it grips the entire nation, and there's no known cure. Playoff fever. Oh, you'll catch it all right, only on USA.
For over 60 years, there has been a store that has grown with change, building on experience and knowledge. That store is Bob Ford, the Ford store, selling quality automobiles with confidence backed by engineering expertise. Car after car built to last. From the family of fine automobiles, Bob Ford, the Ford store.
At Harvey Buick, we know that good service means more than just friendly personal attention. It also means keeping up with the latest in automotive service technology and keeping enough parts on hand to do the job today. Good service means convenience. Our computer schedules a specific appointment for your car and tells you what time your car will be ready for pickup. At Harvey Buick, good service means technology and people working together to provide the best care for your automobile.
Al Troutwig along with Gary Green in the USA Sports Studio. Time for news in the National Hockey League. Gary really not a Frenchman, but he's trying to squeeze in a little French tonight.
A very little French.
We'll begin tonight with the National Hockey League's Toyota Player of the Week. He comes to us from the Washington Capitals. We saw him put on quite a show Sunday night at Boston Garden. Pat Riggin of the Washington Capitals, for the 3rd time this year, the Player of the Week. His record was 3-0, and his goals against average 2.20. And in Sunday's game, Gary, he wasn't letting anyone interfere in his crease. He was very, very good and very, very authoritative.
He was very aggressive as well in there. And what I like about Pat Riggin is we'll get an opportunity to see some of his great saves here, Al, is the fact that he has really improved over the course of especially the last half year. Now, Brian Murray told me that Pat Riggin has really worked on his conditioning and that he strengthened his legs. It's made him be able to move quicker. He just looks sharp as a cat in there and quick as a cat against Boston the other night. He put on a tremendous performance, and for the Washington Capitals now with Al Jensen coming back as well, and with Bob Mason there in nets, they've got 3 goaltenders, all very capable goaltenders. 2 of them who have shown this year in Jensen and Riggin that they are outstanding. They may just go a long ways in the Stanley Cup final.
And we'll get another look at the Caps on USA Saturday when they take on the St. Louis Blues from the Cap Center. We hope you can join us then. Now, Tuesday night, Dale Hawerchuk of the Winnipeg Jets, who has not had as many explosive performances this year as he had in the past for the Jets, had a pretty good one against the Los Angeles Kings. In one period, he dished out 5 assists, and that's an NHL record.
Dale Hawerchuk, I got an opportunity to see him play last night in Toronto against the Maple Leafs, and he's a very talented young man, as we saw his first year when he was Rookie of the Year. Last year, he kind of went into somewhat of a maybe a second-year rookie jinx type of thing. But this year, he started off a little bit slow and has been then all of a sudden turned it around. He's a very talented youngster, and he's been playing well. Big reason why Winnipeg has been doing so well and are going to pretty much lock up a playoff spot soon, probably this week.
All right. Moving on, we take you to college hockey. The NCAA Division I playoffs underway. We've got 8 teams who will be playing against each other, and we wish them the best of luck. To spell it out for you, Friday and Saturday in the Division I pairings, it will be Clarkson against Minnesota Duluth. And the Fighting Sioux of North Dakota, Mr. Gasparini's boys, will take on RPI. And then BC, Boston College against Michigan State, and Bowling Green against BU. The finals will be in Lake Placid, New York, the weekend of March 22nd and 24th. Good luck to those 8 teams. Now, we've been talking about Mario Lemieux, the great player from Laval in the Quebec Major Junior League. He is expected to be the #1 pick in the NHL draft, and that honor is expected to be held, the draft selection that is expected to be held by the New Jersey Devils of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You can see him here. It says in French there, the 3 greatest players in junior hockey, and the big man, the captain's letter on his sweater, is Mario Lemieux. Now, it's expected that, as I said, as the Penguins and Devils shake in the divisions and the bottom spots in the NHL, that they will pick. But Gary Green has found what may be a wrinkle in their plans.
Well, the word is the last few days, Alan, it's just not a rumor, it's from some fairly authoritative voices in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, that they may even offer Mario Lemieux next year as much as $250,000 Canadian to stay here and play junior hockey here in Quebec. Now, if that is true, that makes a very interesting situation as to, especially for Mario Lemieux, whether or not he goes to New Jersey or Pittsburgh. That's going to be up to the standings and how they finish, and also whether or not they decide to select him. But let's also look at another facet of this whole Mario Lemieux situation. If you're the Pittsburgh Penguins or the New Jersey Devils right now, you know that there's two teams in particular, and that's the Montreal Canadiens and this team, the Quebec Nordiques, that want Mario Lemieux very, very badly. So I don't think that there's any doubt whatsoever there's going to be a lot of bargaining going on between Pittsburgh and New Jersey, whoever gets that #1 overall pick, and Montreal and Quebec. And whichever team, New Jersey or Pittsburgh, could end up with 2 or 3 really quality hockey players, some draft choices. They may just put together quite a bundle. Remember, here with these two teams, there's 2 breweries that own each of these 2 teams, and they compete against each other. And it's not just who wants to see Mario Lemieux end up in Quebec or Montreal. It may also have a lot to do with beer sales in this province.
So, relatively unprecedented move may prevent Mario Lemieux or may change his mind about going to the National Hockey League. We shall see. That's a wrap on news in the NHL. Bonsoir, Mr. Green. A little Edmonton history for you, and it is not true that Gary Green was the coach of the champions of the provinces of Alberta and Saskatchewan back in 1906 and 07. That was the Edmonton Hockey Club. They were champions even then. We'll see if they're champions this year with the playoffs coming up in the weeks ahead. We'll continue on USA Sports from Le Colisée, where the Nordiques lead the Oilers 2-1. Back in a moment.
Playboy. It brings you the best of everything. Behind the pages of Playboy, you'll find the authors who create the best sellers.
You've had a year of success. Yes, I have.
Interviewers who reveal the person behind the personality. Playboy's cartoonists point out the humor in today's world with a rare mix of art and wit. And then there's Playboy's photographers, masters at capturing the beauty of the world's most breathtaking women. Playboy also tips you off to the latest styles and tunes you into the hottest sounds. Playboy, the magazine that gives you a monthly ticket to the best of the good life. And right now, you can get 12 months of Playboy delivered right to you for only $18.50. That's half the newsstand price. So enjoy the very best, the wit, wisdom, and imagination of today's most creative people. Become a Playboy subscriber and step into the exciting world of Playboy. To order your subscription, here's all you do.
Phone toll-free 1-800-USA-1000. Get 12 issues of Playboy for only $18.50. That's half the newsstand price. So phone toll-free 1-800-USA-1000. That's 1-800-USA-1000.
We're getting ready for the second period here in Quebec City. The hometown Nordiques are leading the Edmonton Oilers by a score of 2-1. Paul Gillis got his 7th goal of the season unassisted. The first shot on goal tonight. It came at the 42-second mark. Then Alain Cote with his 14th of the year, set up perfectly by Pat Price. Paymont drew an assist as well. That goal at the 3:40 mark, and Quebec was leading 2-0. A slashing penalty to Will Paymont at 7:07 gave Edmonton their first power play of the game. And Captain Wayne Gretzky recorded his 82nd goal of the year, unassisted at 8:44, a period that saw Edmonton outshoot the Quebec Nordiques by a margin of 11-5. The laying of Paymont, Cote, and Gillis seemed to shut Gretzky down for the early part of the period, but give him a power play chance, and it's very difficult to contain a player like Wayne Gretzky. His 82nd goal of the year came on the power play. Let's take a look at it. Daniel Bouchard goes out of the net, gets trapped behind the goal. Watch Gretzky sensing the situation, got around Rochefort, virtually an empty net to put it into, and for the captain of the Oilers, goal number 82. Edmonton has a power play to work on early here in the second period, still 35 seconds. Left in a bench penalty to Edmonton, or to Quebec, I should say. They got caught with too many men on the ice. So Edmonton with an opportunity to get themselves right back into the hockey game very early. But Quebec with a checking line that they put together tonight doing a good job in the first period. They have Messier, Anderson, and Gretzky as the Edmonton forwards. As the second period gets underway, Marois cleared the puck. Curry, who's playing the left point, gave it to Coffey. Back to Curry. Off his stick, it'll be picked up by Anderson at center ice. The pass intended for Messier was blocked, and now Coffey on the right wing lets it go, and it's wide of Bouchard. Came back to the point, but offside had been called by linesman John D'Amico. Capacity crowd here at the Colisée in Quebec City, including its honor the mayor, Jean Peltier, on hand tonight, the hot dog eating mayor of Quebec City. The city has just recently hosted its annual winter carnival. They have a summer carnival each year as well. This summer, the tall ships will be in the harbor here. Coffey has slapped the puck around to Curry. Still 10 seconds left in the power play, but it's broken up, and the Oilers will have to chase it. Charlie Huddy has come out to replace Curry on the Edmonton defense as Anderson is back for the puck. Up the right wing boards to Messier. Checked immediately by Coche. Anderson had it stolen by Gillis. Oh, Gillis centers. In deep, out to Coche. Scores! Coche makes it 3-1. The Quebec Nordiques, they have discovered something that will take them a long way in the playoffs with this, quote, checking line of Paymont, Cote, and Gillis. 43 seconds into the second period, they have regained the 2-goal margin over Edmonton, and here's the way the goal came, Gary.
Well, watch Cote all alone out in that slot area. You see Charlie Huddy getting back, but way too late. Cote may not be a big goal scorer, but you can't leave any player on this Quebec Nordiques team all alone in that slot area.
Cote from Paymont and Gillis at the 43-second mark. Quebec 3, Edmonton 1. Kevin Lowe with the puck back at the Edmonton goal. Gave it to McClellan at the left side. Shot into the Quebec zone by Dave Hunter. McClellan into forecheck. Dale Hunter gets tied up on the boards. Number 32, Dale Hunter for Quebec. Bumped by his brother. The puck ended up on the far wing. Dave Hunter played it through in front of the Quebec goal. Vogelin got a slap at it. It went wide. Bouchard pokes it, but not out. McClellan shot tipped wide of the net. Andre Doré goes to the corner. Got the puck back. And Dale Hunter managed to get it into the center ice zone to McKegney on the left side. McKegney's shot goes off Vogelin and up into the seats. So Quebec with an early goal at the start of the second period. From Maine to Hawaii, you're watching the NHL on the USA Network.
There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place.
Believe it or not, there's finally joy in Mudville. Introducing the 1984 Toyota Tercel.
There was pride in Casey's bearing and a smile on Casey's face.
This front-wheel drive Tercel will get you where you're going with more room inside than any other subcompact. The new Toyota Tercel, Toyota's lowest priced car.
And finally, there is joy in Mudville. Play ball!
Face-off will be in the circle to the right of the Edmonton goal as Paul Gillis is there to take the draw against Wayne Gretzky. Gillis unable to pull the puck back this time. Randy Gregg with it. Dr. Gregg tries the left side. Out into center ice to Gretzky. Has Curry moving up the right side. Gretzky around Price, and a weak shot went wide of Bouchard. Matt Price, a well-traveled defenseman, gave the puck to Gillis. Gillis across the Edmonton line to Paymont to Price from the blue line. His shot is tipped and just wide of Andy Moog. Curry gets turned around by Cote's check. Curry recovered the puck, however, gave it to Paul Gillis. Left it for Cote, then to Price at the blue line. Shooting, and that went wide of the net. Gretzky starts down the left side across to Curry. Curry carries it into the Quebec zone, trying to make the play. Price hung right with him and is headed ahead quickly for Paul Gillis. Gillis gets checked on the boards by Chartrand. Going backboard is Gregg. Chartrand all over top of Gillis. Now there'll be a penalty called on the play. A holding call will send Chartrand to the penalty box. 17.5 minutes remaining in the second period. Exclusive national coverage of the National Hockey League is only on the USA Network. We'll be right back.
Seguin, Texas, and Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Seguin means barbecue at its biggest and best, and Milwaukee means beer. Cold, crisp, old Milwaukee beer, and smooth, golden old Milwaukee Light.
And old Milwaukee.
And old Milwaukee Light.
Tastes as great as their name.
You know, it doesn't get any better than this.
Rick Chartraw in the penalty box for the Oilers. 2 minutes for holding was the call. He got away with the first one, Jiggs, but he couldn't very well get away with the second.
All right, just too many liberties. So Chartraw for holding at 2:29, and here's Peter Stastny in front of the net to Anton, and what a save there by Andy Moog. Goulet, Anton Stastny, and Peter Stastny on the power play. Sauvé from the point, testing Moog with a long shot. Loose puck in the corner, Peter Stastny to Goulet. Goulet put it out in front, Peter Stastny to Sauvé, shoots off the post. Bounces into the corner, and over the stick of Peter Stastny, and now Fogelin wheels it up the right side for Messier. Messier trying to get it around Marois, shot it off the defenseman's stick, and it ends up in the seats back of the net.
Sauvé had a couple of excellent opportunities deep in the Edmonton zone, right in front of that slot area. Andy Moog coming up with one of those saves. The other one went right off the goal post. A little help from the post. Let's take a look as J.F. Sauvé blasts that puck a little high. But hitting that crossbar instead of the goal post, I think it was. Going up and over, hitting the glass. Quebec Nordiques look pretty good out there, passing that puck around in the Edmonton zone.
They have controlled the play for the most part tonight, and they're starting out at the power play now, led by Peter Stastny. Stick handles neatly to center, gave it to Goulet on left wing. It's hauled down by Gregg, and Jelling. No penalty to be called. Goulet back to the point. There's Sauvé with a drive. Stick saved by Moog, and the rebound got away from Sauvé. Goulet managed to hold it in for Dory to Sauvé. Now Peter Stastny, and his hand on it as Moog was diving back across the goal mouth. Hunter trying to come out on the right side. Got bumped by Dory, and that gave Goulet a chance to get back for the puck. To the right side. Stastny moved it back and forth. Now Sauvé gets it across the line. Flips in around Gregg, and his one-hander is blocked by Moog. The rebound is centered and comes all the way back inside the Quebec blue line. 40 seconds remaining in Rick Chartraw's penalty. He's off for a holding as Anton Stastny gets in across the blue line. Puts on a burst of speed around Coffey, but Gregg was there to cut off the pass. Cote knocked down, recovers the puck in the corner. Gave it to Anton Stastny to the point. Marois drive, Moog the save, and Gregg slaps the rebound out to center ice. Nordiques pounce on it quickly. Dory waiting for his teammates to get back. Down to Cote on left wing. Cote centers out of the reach of Paymont. He and Gregg slapped at one another. The team's back at 6 aside in 5 seconds' time. Here's Gillis. Wheels in around Curry, coming in on goal. Gillis to the right side, a drive, hit the side of the net. Paymont set it up neatly. Paymont checked by Curry, and Moog comes back to the net to clear the puck. Gave it to Gretzky on the right wing board. Paymont goes back to the net to pick up the puck. Put it out in front. Dory at the blue line. Couldn't find an opening. Got it around to Paymont instead to Cote, and it went off Moog's stick. Cote pounces on it, but couldn't get it up. And it ends up in the center ice zone. Curry overskates it. Chartraw with it now to Gretzky. Gretzky's pass is intercepted, and Cote gives it to Paymont for Quebec. Long shot on target. Moog leaves it for Lowe. Quebec in the middle of a player change. Gary Curry, a pass to Pozar, trying to cut in around Bowler, couldn't do it. Still hangs on to the puck, however. Back to Lindstrom, walks right in, he shoots, and it went off the stick. Ends up at the side of the Quebec goal and is smothered now by Daniel Bouchard. It's been end-to-end here in the last couple of moments. For all our local systems, we'll pause now. The National Hockey League is coming your way on the USA Network.
Time is running out on your worn-out, inefficient furnace and air conditioner. But that's just as well, because right now, Great Lakes Heating and Cooling will buy your energy waster at our Blue Book value, any brand or condition, when you buy a new, high-efficiency Carrier air conditioner or furnace. And Great Lakes will give you an additional $300 rebate when you purchase a Carrier heat pump system. Don't let time run out. Call Great Lakes now for a free estimate. Call 581-1400. Your old system could be worth a lot more than you think.
Well, the second period has begun to open up a little more, Mr. Green.
It really has. The Nordiques have been the ones that have opened it up much more so. They're not laying back and playing all that defensively. They're going for it.
We watch McKegney luck the puck in across the line. Gave it to Dory to the right side, and Hunter couldn't get to it. Here's Kevin Lowe. Lowe sent it up the left wing side. And offside as Kenny Linsman got into the Quebec zone. 3 other games in the National Hockey League. Let's get an update on those scores. Here's Al.
Period. They're playing at the Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, and the New Jersey Devils and the Stanley Cup champions, struggling defensively lately, are tied 1-1.
Both teams making some late changes. Quebec has McKegney on left wing. Over on the right side, Bo Berglund. And at center ice, it's Dale Hunter on the faceoff against Linsman. The puck comes back into the Edmonton zone where it's picked up by Lowe. Kevin Lowe across to Lee Fogelin. Fogelin, who was born in Chicago, just cleared at the center and it's shot back in offside. So we'll get another faceoff.
I think Andy Mogas had some problems back in his own end zone tonight, and a lot of those problems were the result of his defenseman not helping him out a great deal, not so much himself. We're taking a look at the very bright president, Marcel Aubu, and now the equally intelligent coach of the Quebec Nordiques, Michel Bergeron.
What an organization here in Quebec. The Nordiques front office were instrumental in getting overtime into the National Hockey League. Many of us were skeptical, I think, Gary, but all of us now are thanking them for not really an innovation, but another new wrinkle. It's been fun. Fogelin in corner, got checked. McKegney picks up the puck, comes out in front of his drive, hit low. Oh, Russell McKegney to the corner. The puck went back to Muller. Hunter in front, couldn't get a stick on it, neither could Berglund. And Lindstrom sent Semenko on left wing, and he was too well covered. Rochefort backhands one that goes over the glass and up into the seats. We still have 13 and a half minutes remaining in the second period.
It's amazing how one team can improve defensively so much as the Quebec Nordiques have this year. We take a look at one of their key defensemen, Normand Rochefort. But Michel Bergeron says that a lot of it has to do with the addition of McKegney and Savard that they acquired from the Buffalo Sabres. He said those two players have been very good defensively, have also allowed them the luxury. They've had a little bit more depth. They've been able to send out some other guys to kill penalties, not just use Goulet all the time.
Now we watch LaPointe with the puck. Yeah, I would think after the years with Scotty Bowman's coaching, they would have to know the game defensively. The pass now for Peter Stastny in the Edmonton zone up to Anton, who was too well covered. McClellan left it for Hunter, who comes down right wing over the Quebec line. Hunter holding on to the puck, sent it across to the point. Gregg is checked. He got the stick up around Peter Stastny and will be sent to the penalty box. Under Randy Gregg with the high stick sets up a Quebec power play. They're already leading by a score of 3-1. A reminder that the USA Network is bringing you the National Hockey League.
Seguin, Texas, and Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Seguin means barbecue at its biggest and best, and Milwaukee means beer. Cold, crisp, old Milwaukee beer, and smooth, golden old Milwaukee Light.
And old Milwaukee.
And old Milwaukee Light.
Tastes as great as their name.
You know, it doesn't get any better than this.
There you take a look at the famous Guy Lafleur's banner, who is retired and hanging here in the Quebec Colisée. That is not the Quebec Nordiques banner. That instead is the junior banner. That is the Quebec Rampart, a very good junior team here in the Quebec Major Junior League.
The penalty to Gregg is for high sticking at 6:51 of the second period. The Quebec Nordiques with their third power play of the night now. Charlie Huddy broke up the pass. Sauvé gets over the line, lost it. And it's shot down the boards by Paul Coffey. Back goes Mario Marois. Gretzky comes in to forecheck. Force Marois to turn. The former New York Ranger brings the puck to the blue line. Into center ice, cuts to the left side, trying to get around Curry, and has backhanded it behind the net. Coffey slaps it high, out into the center ice zone. Gretzky reached and missed. This is J.F. Sauvé to Anton Stastny. Drop pass. Peter Stastny with it. Moves in on right wing. Centered one in front. That went off Andy Moog and is picked up by Marois. In bouncing off the boards right to Huddy, however, and he is backhanded at the length of the ice. The 1 minute is gone, and the penalty to Gregg. Bouchard moves it up the right wing board. Sauvé across to Marois. Move in across the Edmonton line. Anton Stastny handling the puck. Back to Hunter. To Sauvé behind the net, and Coffey took it away from him. Paul Coffey uses the boards, but failed to clear it out. Anton Stastny trying to pick it up. It was knocked away from him. Coffey has set Gretzky down the left side. Gretzky waits for Curry to move in, but Price moved over to check Gretzky. Here's Goulet. 25 seconds remaining in the power play. Goulet stick handles his way to the Quebec blue line. Lets it in around Kevin Lowe. Anderson chases it. Hunter collides with Anderson, and Berglund picks up the puck. Berglund to Hunter. Hunter for Quebec to Berglund. Goulet out in front. They can't get the puck to him. Now Berglund gives it to Hunter, to Goulet. It's in his skates. He's knocked down, and the puck is covered by Andy Moe.
Lee Fogelin was struggling in order to try and clear Goulet out of that front of the net area. Goulet a little disgusted at himself. He knew where that puck was, but just couldn't get any wood on it. Watch the coverage in front of the net area. You can see that Goulet had it in his skate area. Just couldn't seem to get any wood on it, and then was bowled over by Fogelin as he came rushing into the slot area. One thing that we should mention in tonight's game, watch very closely, I think we have the two best left wingers in the NHL playing out here tonight, and Michel Goulet and Marc Messier. Messier, however, playing center ice tonight, but is considered generally to be a left winger.
I feel that he's getting more production, however, in center ice, Gary, and I think you're going to see him there for the playoffs, depending who they meet, perhaps. Messier with the puck. It's checked in the Quebec zone by Lapointe, and the teams are at 6 aside again as Gregg has served his high sticking penalty. 3-1, Quebec leading Edmonton. Vogelin is forced to cover up in his own zone for the Oilers. Wrapped it around to the point, held in by Savard. Now Vogelin tries the other side. Lowe was waiting for it. Kevin Lowe to Vogelin. Up to Lumley. Dave Lumley. The pass to Linsman went behind him. The shifty center iceman who wears number 13 for Edmonton is checked. Sauvé forcing them back. Vogelin laid it up the right side to Linsman. Comes over the line with Lumley. Drop pass to Messier. Goes back to the net with it. Is checked there by Rick Lapointe. And over comes Savard. Savard dances his way into the center ice zone. Dumps it wide of Andy Moog, and Gregg hustles back on defense. Gregg being bothered by Paymont, who cut up with him. Here's Lumley with a pass to Anderson on left wing, but across two lines and offside as we reach the midway point of the second period.
Take a look at the very speedy Glenn Anderson. 45 goals so far this year, 88 points. I think he was very much overlooked in the 1980 Olympics. Dave Lumley playing on that right side along with Messier and Anderson.
They have the horses all right. You look at that Edmonton team, and now we look at the Quebec bench. Tony McKegney, number 9, talking things over with Savard, who Gary pointed out earlier came over in that trade with the Buffalo Sabres in the offseason. 3-1, the hometown team on top. Chartrand handling the puck on the Edmonton defense, forced back by Cote. Then he elected to give it to Gregg. Missed Anderson with the pass. Gretzky to Curry. Curry comes over the line. Gary Curry into the corner. Chartrand put it out in front. And the pass to the point intended for Curry was stolen. And here's Paul Gillis with it. Gillis trying to feed the right wing, but it was out of the reach of Paymont. Gretzky works it around behind the net. Cote comes in quickly to pick it up. Pumped by Chartrand. Gretzky back to pick up the puck. It's kicked instead to Paymont. Stolen by Gretzky. Gretzky checked. Gillis unable to control it, however, and back comes the Edmonton Oilers. Curry on right wing with a shot. Bouchard the save, and the puck came loose. Gretzky tips it back to Honey. Started in, let it go to Anderson. Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky to the point, and Honey couldn't get across in time. Has to chase it. Charlie Honey to Yari Curry. Curry played it off the skates of Anderson, and it ricocheted to the far side. Peter Stastny to Anton. Over to Goulet. Goulet shot from off the stick of Moog. Anderson clears it ahead, but out of the reach of Hughes, and the point will cover up for Quebec. Gave it to Marois. Mario Marois steps in over the Edmonton line, or Dory, excuse me, to Peter Stastny. Stastny comes in on right wing, put it right through the goal mouth. And it came off the defenseman right back to Andy Moog, who covered up.
This Nordiques team are really flying out there tonight. I'm not so sure that Glenn Sather isn't pretty upset right now. The fact that his Edmonton Oilers are just not skating well out there tonight. Their passing seems to be off, and here you see Andy Moog having to cover up one more time in front of that net area as the Nordiques are swarming. But I don't think Edmonton, by any stretch of the imagination, are skating the way that they're capable of skating. Their passing is not on. They seem to be about 3 or 4 steps behind the pass, in fact. They're a speedy hockey club that can usually skate miles out there.
And Berglund just ripped one wide following the face-off in the Edmonton zone. Paul Coffey works it up the left side. The good check there by McKegney broke up the rush. Now McClellan has it knocked off his stick. Charlie Huddy can't go anywhere with it. Dale Hunter gets over the line. Hunter is knocked off stride. And Coffey headed ahead, but off the stick of Hughes, and Dory hustles back. Andre Dory, acquired from the St. Louis Blues this season, couldn't get out of there. The Oilers with a bad pass that ends up at center ice. Here's Huddy. Over to Coffey. Right back to Charlie Huddy. Gave it to Hughes on right wing. He got checked. Hunter trying to get in around Huddy. McKegney heads for the net as Hunter holds on to the puck. Can't make the play in the one direction. Back to LaPointe, and his shot was blocked. Paul Coffey worked it to the left side. Hunter for Edmonton to McClellan. He was checked by LaPointe. Good play by Rick LaPointe. Edmonton covering up in the center ice zone. Coffey and Fogelin move up together. The pass onto the stick of Semenko on the backhand. He was hauled down, ran into the side of the net. The puck ends up in the goal, and it will be awarded. It is 3-2. Semenko took Bouchard out of the play, and Edmonton scores at the 12:27 mark of the second period.
Well, that's one way of putting the puck in the net. Watch as Semenko muscles his way through, but watch coming up from behind. There you see that loose puck there. Willie Lindstrom, being the man on the spot, just knows that he has to put that puck high because Bouchard's been taken out of the net and is on his way down, but instead he just goes over to Bouchard's right and tucks it neatly behind him.
So Willie Lindstrom gets the goal at 12:27, and the Oilers are right back into the Quebec zone. They've got a penalty call being handed out here. Referee Andy Van Helleman heads for the penalty box. For our local systems, we'll pause now. The National Hockey League is coming your way on the USA Network.
At Harvey Buick, we know that good service means more than just friendly personal attention. It also means keeping up with the latest in automotive service technology and keeping enough parts on hand to do the job today. Good service means convenience. Our computer schedules a specific appointment for your car and tells you what time your car will be ready for pickup. At Harvey Buick, good service means technology and people working together to provide the best care for your automobile.
The penalty is against Goulet for interference at 12:35. So the Edmonton Oilers with another power play opportunity. This will be their third of the game. They scored in the first period. Gretzky unassisted at 8:44. We're unable to capitalize on the Quebec penalty for too many men on the ice near the end of the opening period. Let's set up this power play for you. Gretzky directing some traffic out there, setting up the forward. Semenko, Linsman, Gretzky, Coffey, and Lindstrom out on the ice for Edmonton. The puck has been cleared, as you see, picked up by Coffey. Gillis into forecheck. Coffey gave it to Linsman. Up the middle of the ice, pulled it away from Savard, gets across the line, was checked there, and Gillis takes over. Gillis around Gretzky. Lindstrom cut across in front of him to break up the rush. The Oilers start again from deep in their own zone. Paul Coffey takes a look. Gave it to Wayne Gretzky. Back to Coffey. Coffey at center ice, shot it in around the boards. Bouchard slowed it up. There's Semenko in after it. Fed it back to the net to Paul Coffey. Coffey to the point for Gretzky, across to Linsman. In along the boards, Coffey to Gretzky, and Savard got a stick on it. Gretzky plays it back in the net. That's Lindstrom. Semenko out in front. The puck bounced off him. There's Gretzky, moves into the backhand of Bouchard. Just stood his ground and smothered the puck.
Interesting, and maybe we'll get a chance to see that one again, but when Gretzky came in front of that net area, he knew he couldn't tuck it in the short side. He had that puck in his skates. He was trying to drag it through. Now let's see if we can pick this up Watch Gretzky as he moves out in front of the net area. He's trying his best to pull that puck through his skate so that he can pull it over to the left of Bouchard, which at that point in time was open. Just a tremendously smart hockey player. He'll show you a new trick every night.
Just sitting thinking how many players have that ability, let alone the thought process to do it so quickly. Not that many, I suppose. Gretzky in a class by himself. And there's a minute remaining in Goulet's penalty time. Quebec 3, the Edmonton Oilers 2. 6 minutes, 20 seconds left in the second period as Edmonton starts out in the power play. Messier got checked at the blue line, recovers the puck now. Trying to get it away from Cote, put it right on Hunter's stick. Came back quickly for Messier. Over to Curry, backs in deep. The pass went to Mark Messier. Messier over center ice, gave it to Gretzky. To Coffey on the right side. Coffey to the point. Comes right back to Messier. Over to Curry, a drive. Right on the score! Curry shot from the point to tie up the hockey game.
Well, Diggs, we can't say there was any English on that puck because Jerry Curry's finished. So maybe it was a little finish on the puck. But look at how it drops. Took a real loop there. You can't blame Bouchard on that one. He went down to cover it. Let's see if we can see it from the goaltender's angle. You can see Bouchard's glove come up, then it went down, and I think the puck ended up going between his legs even.
Jari Kurri is 1 goal away from a 50-goal season. Barring a deflection on that shot, it appeared to go right between Bouchard's leg, clean on that shot from the point. Messier and Coffey get assists as Jari Kurri records his 49th goal of the year. It came at 14:09 of the period. We're tied 3-3 as Peter Stastny comes in on the right wing. Goulet goes to the corner. Anton Stastny with the puck, slipped back of the net with it. Ran into a check, and up come the Oilers. It's Hunter handling the puck, gave it to McClellan. McClellan checked at the Quebec line. Loose puck for Goulet, who gets back. Goulet gets tangled up in the boards. Rochefort trying to dig it loose. Did. Cleared it outside the blue line. So the Oilers regroup once more. That's Kevin Lowe. Shot it off the boards into the Quebec zone. The Nordiques could have played it. Now they must. Dory around the boards for Peter Stastny. The pass to Rochefort. Norman Rochefort checked at center ice. Got some help from Anton Stastny on the play. Across to Peter. Dumped it in between the defense, but nobody there for Quebec. Cote takes the man. The puck ends up at center ice. Merwa across to Pat Price. His pass was tipped. Cote dumps it back to Merwa at the right point. Now to Paymont. Comes in over the line. His pass is tipped. Jari Kurri picks it up. Gretzky moves up ahead of them, but a good play by Paymont broke that up. Here's Gillis on right wing. Got away from Fogle and a drive, and it missed the net. Price goes in to pick it up. Put it out in front. Knocked down and cleared at the defense as Kevin Lowe forces the Oilers to chase it. In comes Gretzky. He and Merwa go to the corner, and Merwa came up with the puck. Merwa to the right side for Paymont. Cote moves up with him. Paymont shoveled it in around Jari Kurri. Huddy comes back to the corner for it. This Coffey over in the opposite corner. Bozar back to Coffey to Kurri. Picked up by Huddy. Huddy is across the line. Drop pass. Bozar trying to cut right in. He shoots off the glove hand of Bouchard. Close call there. Now the Nordiques get a break as Gillis comes down left wing. Coffey knocks him down. No penalty call, and Bozar cleared the puck quickly for Messier. He was checked. The point with it. The game opens up again. Here's Bo Berglund for Quebec. Dumping it into the Edmonton zone. Messier chasing it. Hunter right on his tail as they go back to the net. Huddy to Lumley on right wing. Lumley gave it to Dr. Randy Gregg. Gregg tries the left side with a pass to Messier. Trying to cut in. Was slowed up. Taken out on the boards by Moeller's check, and there's Dave Lumley with it. Lumley feeds the point. That's Gregg with a long shot. Bouchard has the puck in his glove and holds on for a face-off. Little more than 3 minutes remaining. Period number 2 for our local systems. We'll pause now. The National Hockey League is coming your way on the USA Network.
Swanson presents 4 myths about hungry men. 1, all hungry men are big brutes. Wrong.
Excuse me.
Many are under 6 feet who say please.
Please?
2, all hungry men are jocks. Not true. Some are Toms and Dans. 3, anyone can be a hungry man. Well, 4. Hungry men are always hungry. No, after a hungry man dinner, they are satisfied and full. Hungry man, it's dinner with the Swansons, only much more of it.
You saw the numbers on this period. 3 minutes and 6 seconds remaining. The score tied 3-3. Face off to the right of the Quebec goal. Bouchard trying to poke the puck away from Messier. Couldn't do it. It's picked up by Anderson, who goes back of the net. Peter Stastny forced him to turn. Lumley checked by Dory. The puck loose again for Anderson. He was knocked off the play by Peter Stastny. The long pass to Goulet. To the right side, Anton Stastny races in after it. Greg chased him to the corner. Anton Stastny centering attempt was picked off by Lumley. Dave Lumley over center ice. Up comes Messier across the line, working on Dory. Got in around the defense, and attack headed it wide of Daniel Bouchard. Another good chance for Edmonton that won a straight. Goulet 2-on-1 with Anton Stastny. Anton to Goulet, and he shot it wide. And Vogue has been taken up in a collision at the doorstep. Vogue down at the Edmonton goal mouth. The Oilers had a golden opportunity. Edmonton, just prior to that in the Quebec end of the ice, Gary, had a great chance as well.
Well, Moog seems to be all right, but I think he got knocked right into that goalpost area when Goulet was standing right on his doorstep. I don't know whether it was his neck or his back. You can see Peter Miller out there, the trainer, taking a look at Moog. Some good opportunities by both teams. Mark Messier just showed some great strength, but here's where it happened. It was actually his own player that collided with him. You can see Goulet just barely missed the net, but I believe it was his neck that almost got snapped there. A real jolt that he received.
We had expected to see Grant Fuhrer in goal tonight, but he blocked a shot this morning that hurt and did not play. Andy Moog got the call to duty in the collision there. He seems, as Gary says, to be okay. Evan Lowe back to chat with him. Peter Miller, the athletic therapist for the Edmonton Oilers. Back will relay some information now to Glenn Sather, but Moog stays in the net. 2 minutes and 21 seconds left in the second period. Peter Stastny to face off against McClellan of Edmonton. 6 foot up, the puck goes to Fogelin. Chase to the corner. Berglund bumping with Lowe. Berglund comes out of the corner with it. Up through in front, but couldn't get a shot away. Hughes dumps it into the center ice zone. That's Dory back in the Quebec defense. Lost it on the boards. Fogelin ahead quickly to McClellan, who comes over the line with a shot off the stick of Normand Rochefort. McClellan unable to recover. Rochefort tangled up now with McClellan. This is Dory. The pass to Goulet. He's upended in the center ice area. Lee Fogelin will take the penalty as a result. Sets up a Quebec power play with less than 2 minutes to play in the second period.
Well, Goulet appears as though he's shaken up on that play as well. Lee Fogelin stuck out his stick and Goulet went down. The trainer is out taking a look at him right now. You can see that he really went flying through the air. Whether or not that was a stick or whether it was a knee. Well, I think it was a knee. That hurts as well. That can oftentimes result in a Charlie horse. Goulet slow at getting up.
The penalty officially is for interference, which covers a multitude of sins. Fogelin at the 18-13 mark. There you see him in the penalty box. The Nordiques have been unable to get their power play on track here tonight. They had one opportunity in the first period. They had a couple early in the second period. This will be their fourth power play chance of the game. As we mentioned in the first period, Gary, their power play at home ranks 20th in the league. Only the New Jersey Devils have a poorer power play on home ice than these Nordiques.
Well, if we're judging on tonight's basis, they've definitely had the opportunities. Sauvé, he parks himself in that high slot area, and he has had a number of excellent scoring opportunities. Let's see if he sets up there again.
Nordiques controlling the puck. Sauvé and Marois at the point. This is Sauvé. The pass to Berglund, who gets over the line with the two Stastny. Berglund holding on to the puck over on right wing. Into the corner for Peter Stastny to Bo Berglund. Berglund, the Swedish rookie, able to recover it. Takes a look, got it to Marois from the point of stride, missed the net. Berglund chases it. Curry ties him up, the puck comes back to Sauvé. J.F. Sauve lost it in Curry's skates, and Kevin Lowe moving up and dumped it down the ice. Merwa with Gretzky right on top of him. The pass to Anton Stastny, to Sauve, to Berglund on right wing. Chase to the boards and hauled down by Kevin Lowe. Lowe covers up on the puck. We'll get a face-off to the left of the Edmonton net with 54 seconds left in the period.
When the Oilers are killing penalties out there, you have to be very conscious of number 99, Wayne Gretzky. He has got 12 shorthanded goals so far this year. He's as dangerous killing penalties as he is on the power play, practically. Gretzky right now going off the ice as the second unit, penalty killing wise, coming on. Kenny Linsman taking the draw.
Goulet moves up on left wing. Peter Stastny to take the face-off. Paymont over on the right side for Quebec. Linsman chops the draw into the corner, and Coffey fires it high down into the Quebec territory. Now Hunter comes out on the ice along with Hughes, and back of the play, Goulet was flattened as Linsman headed for the box. He got a piece of Goulet. The fans yelling about that. The puck loose in the center ice zone, picked up by Hunter, across to Hughes. Hughes a drive. Bouchard the save. The rebound is poked right through the goal mouth. Sauve on top of it. 25 seconds left in the period. Sauve got the pass to Merwa, backhanded it to the blue line where it was knocked down by Huddy. Huddy's pass. Hunter to Hughes, but it's offside as the Oilers moved into the Quebec zone with 15 seconds left in the period.
This Edmonton team leading the NHL and have set a new record as well. They now have 35 shorthanded goals against. Now, how would you like to be playing in that Smythe division? Because I know that a number of teams in there, Winnipeg being one, have had a lot of shorthanded goals scored against them. But when you're playing against Edmonton so often, you're just bound to have that number. I believe Gretzky, in fact, is something like 5 or 6 shorthanded goals against Winnipeg alone.
You can't decline the penalties, huh?
Not a bad idea, though, Jake.
Matt Hughes ready to face off. Hunter stepped out. That's Dale Hunter of Quebec. Now he's going to move over to the right side, and to take the face-off, it's Paul Gillis, who pulled it back to Price. Into center ice for Gillis, lost it in his skates, and got bumped by Hunter, who moved up for Edmonton. Over the line comes Dory with a shot that was wide of Bogue. It's rebounded out in front, and Bogue covers up with 2 seconds remaining in the second period.
We'll see whether or not Michel Bergeron decides to pull his goaltender out, face off deep in the Edmonton zone. There's no time for Edmonton to be able to put that puck in the net. The proven time has usually been considered to be 3 seconds. Here comes Bouchard. He is coming out of the net in favor of the extra attacker.
Let's see who Quebec sends out there. Jimmy Mann is out on the ice along with Hunter, Dory, Paymont, Peter Stastny, and it's going to be Cote, apparently. They have all 6 men deep in the Edmonton zone. Strategy. Peter Stastny, a left-hand shot, is going to try and get it back, apparently. Went to the boards. Dory lets one go, and there's the siren ending the second period. So the Edmonton Oilers battle back here in the second period and have evened up the score. The period open at times and tight checking. A strange period. But coming up on our intermission, Dr. Randy Gregg will be visiting with Al Troutwick. The score after 2 periods of play here at Le Colisée in Quebec City is the Edmonton Oilers 3 and the Quebec Nordiques 3. Second intermission activities will begin from the Colisée in Quebec City in just a moment.
McLean Stevenson and Alex Karras spend a day at the races and cash in on comedy as they win, place, or steal on the USA Movie at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, Friday.
This is the most common screwdriver used in America today. Come on, admit it. You've done this, haven't you? Oh, we don't blame you. A regular screwdriver can bring tears to your eyes. But now there's Power Driver, a breakthrough in screwdriver design. Power Driver fits right on your drill. Slip in a screw and it locks in place. The screw can't fall out. Power it in fast and straight without cutting up the surface or yourself. It comes with interchangeable heads and a depth dial built right in. Set it on number 1 and it leaves the screw raised. Use number 4, the screw stops flush. Number 7, countersinks automatically. There are 8 different settings you can dial. Use it with tiny screws like these or this monster that would twist your wrist off the old way. Power Driver just powers it in. Even solid oak is a cinch for Power Driver. In Formica, it socks up without scratching up the surface. In masonry block, it's sensational. No plug needed, no pilot holes to drill. Work above your head without breaking your back. No matter what the angle, it's the fastest, easiest way to drive in a screw. And comes with our incredible 10-year guarantee, plus this bonus, a complete 7-piece nut driver set. Great for swings, bikes, toys, and cars. There's also Nail Driver, a brilliant tool idea. Drop a nail in here and drive it home with a simple push. Nail Driver works in corners where your hammer can't reach. Now fix paneling without pounding your thumb. You get all these tools for just $19.99. For COD and credit card orders, call 1-800-USA-1000 in Georgia 222-7272. Save the COD charges. Send $19.99 plus $3 shipping and handling to Power Driver, Box 49648, Atlanta.
Back live on USA Sports, we're at Le Colisée in Quebec City. After 2 periods of play, the Edmonton Oilers scoring 2 straight goals down the stretch of that period and tying this game now at 3-all. There have been a lot of skating going on at this game tonight in both periods of play, and that means the defensemen are busy, including that Dr. Randy Gregg of the Edmonton Oilers. Working up a sweat, are you, Randy?
Well, I sure am. It's a tough game. It's a hot building in Quebec City, but the way the Quebec forwards are skating on it, it makes us work a little.
Now, Randy, one of the reasons that a lot of people want to talk to you this year is this doctor situation of yours. You have a degree in medicine. You said you were going to give it a 2-year plan and play with the Edmonton Oilers for 2 years and then go back to medicine. What's the update on that?
Well, I don't think of it very much, especially going into the playoffs right now. Our number 1 concern is to finish the season strongly and go into the playoffs with a big boost. I guess it's in the back of my mind all the time, and it's something that I have to decide, I guess, at the end of the season. It's not very big of a decision right now, I think, because the Oilers are playing so good and we're having a lot of fun playing. I think we reflect that on our skating and our enthusiasm out on the ice. But for myself, individually, I guess I have to make sure that I don't lose too much because going back to medicine is going to be a very trying experience as well.
I would guess with all the changes in that field that happen every day, you're going to have to do a lot of reading and spend some time in the library.
Exactly, and I must admit, although we have a lot of time on the road, you're always thinking about hockey. You're thinking about the next game and some of the mistakes you've made before. So I'd like to be able to go down to the library and read, but it's really impossible. They pay me to play hockey, not to be a doctor.
One of the things that you must be very defensive about, if I can use a pun, is that the Edmonton Oilers aren't a good defensive team. What do you say to someone who comes up to you and says that?
Well, I think maybe they're a little naive about hockey. Certainly, we get a lot of goals scored on us, and I think that's reflected by the fact that we play such an offensive game. Offense is a 5-man game. The 3 forwards and the 2 defense coming up to help them, as people like Paul Coffey and Charlie Huddy show all the time. And I think defense is a 5-man game as well. It's a combination of the 2 defensemen coming back, as well as the 3 forwards being in proper position. So I think the whole team concept of the Edmonton Oilers is to score goals and to be very offensive. But we're trying to work a little bit harder and be a little stronger on our end because in the playoffs, that's what's going to be important.
I had a short chat with your trainers before this game started. They said they like having you around because when someone gets cut in practice like Ken Linsman did, you can jump in and stitch him right up.
Well, yeah, that is, I guess, a nice benefit. I don't know who's going to stitch me up whenever I get cut, but it's something that if the players want me to help them out in, stitching is certainly nothing, and in certain circumstances, it's easier for me to do it than to go to the hospital. So it's not something that I'm looking around the dressing room to do, but if I can help them out, I will.
Randy, you played hockey in Japan for 2 seasons, I believe. Do you keep in contact with anyone over there? Do you maintain any relationships as far as hockey here is compared to hockey there and people that want to know?
Yeah, I do. I have a number of people that have watched me play over there, as well as the numerous friends that I played with. I've gone back a couple of times since then, and I plan on keep going back. Japan is a great country, and I've got a number of friends there. I think that their hockey is coming on. They just need a little bit more coaching and a little bit more emphasis on the fundamentals of the game. Their talent is certainly there.
Sushi ever been a pregame meal for you?
I don't think sushi. I've had a number of odd pregame meals. There's no question rice doesn't sit very well with me right now, but they treat the foreign players very well, and they make sure that anything that we needed was certainly provided.
Randy, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
A man with a lot of dreams. Randy Gregg is seeing some of them come true. We'll see what happens in the Stanley Cup playoffs. On behalf of Toyota and the local Toyota dealers, we'd like Randy to have a handsome sweater from Toyota's fine line of sportswear. Once again, thanks to Randy Gregg of the Edmonton Oilers. and look at an Edmonton Oilers record, a National Hockey League record. In 1983, Grant Fuhr registered 13 assists. That's an NHL record for most assists by a goaltender in National Hockey League history. That's an ongoing record. Grant Fuhr could get more as this season continues. And we will continue on USA Sports with the Wall Street Journal late news and a look at overtime. Is it a success? Back in a moment.
Of the 13 top import cars chosen by Motor Trend magazine to compete for the 1984 Import Car of the Year award, for the first time, one manufacturer swept the top 3 places. The Honda Civic S hatchback, the Honda Prelude, and the Motor Trend Import Car of the Year, the Honda Civic CRX. Sometimes your toughest competition is yourself.
They'd lumber aloft before dawn. Destination, the Ruhr, through the Luftwaffe gauntlet. The enemy knew the bombers' weak spots. They used captured B-17s for practice. World War II in the skies over Europe. It's just part of the great chronicle of aviation, the epic of flight, now preserved by Time Life books. From the Wright brothers and before, to the jet age and beyond, the epic of flight traces every step. Examine the first book for 10 days, The Carrier War. It will take you aboard the most formidable weapons ever to roam the seas and into battle with pilots on both sides in a desperate contest of flying skills, tactics, and aircraft. From Pearl Harbor to final victory over Japan.
If you keep the Carrier War, pay just $13.95 plus shipping and handling.
Then, about every other month, you'll receive another volume. Keep only the ones you want. Same price, cancel anytime. Call now, and you'll also receive 6 colorful prints of legendary fighter planes. The epic of flight from Time Life books. Relive man's greatest adventure. Here's how.
To get your first book for a 10-day examination, call 1-800-USA-1000 or write Flight, Box 8888, Radio City Station, New York, New York, 10101. Again, the number to call is toll-free, 1-800-USA-1000. Call now.
We are in between periods 2 and 3 at Le Colisée in Quebec City. The Edmonton Oilers and the Quebec Nordiques, the 2 high-scoring teams in the league, are tied at 3. Right now, we take you to William Bruce and the Wall Street Journal late news.
Retail sales fall. That story and more next.
The Wall Street Journal late news with William Bruce, brought to you by the makers of Toyota cars and trucks, who remind you that it's a good feeling to buckle up for safety. So get the feeling whenever you drive.
There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place.
Believe it or not, there's finally joy in Mudville. Introducing the 1984 Toyota Tercel.
There was pride in Casey's bearing and a smile on Casey's face.
This front-wheel drive Tercel will get you where you're going with more room inside than any other subcompact. The new Toyota Tercel, Toyota's lowest-priced car.
And finally, there is joy in Mudville.
Good evening, everyone. Washington says retail sales fell last month, the first time since August. But analysts aren't worried. They say the major stores posted big sales gains, and government reports are often misleading. Is someone out to get Mickey Mouse? Wall Street thinks so. Disney stock soared today on rumors that it's a takeover target. The stock was also helped by the success of Splash, the PG film that led this week's box office receipts. Now this.
Hi, my name is Merlin Olson, and I've always enjoyed giving my friends a little tickle. Just a little tickle now and then to brighten their day and give them a lift. In fact, I still enjoy tickling my friends. But now I do it with this, the FTD Tickler Bouquet. A fun, inexpensive way to let someone know you're thinking about them. The FTD Tickler Bouquet, a great way to tickle your friends. And remember, only your FTD florist has it.
One-hour photo labs are becoming big business. Last year, there were 2,700 across the country. That's hurting companies like Photomat, which promise next-day service. And which would you prefer, an annual report or cookies? One company gave shareholders that choice. Most chose the cookies. But the SEC said shareholders have to get a report. So everyone was sent the report along with the cookies. On Wall Street, stocks gained for the second day in a row today. The Dow picked up almost 10 points. I'm William Bruce. More news later from the Wall Street Journal on USA.
The preceding portion brought to you by FTD and the 20,000 FTD member florists, the special care experts to see for all your floral needs.
Al Troutwig back in the USA Sports studio. They haven't done what I'm about to tell you about since a month before Pearl Harbor. But this season, the National Hockey League welcomes back, well, tonight's game as a candidate for overtime. On October 8, 1983, Islander winger Bob Bourne wedged his way into NHL history with this score. It marked the first regular season overtime goal since Lynn Patrick of the Rangers did it in November of 1941. Since the NHL Board of Governors voted to reinstitute overtime last June, 125 games have been extended, with 50 being settled by sudden death. That's over one-third. Public response has been favorable.
A little hockey player.
Yeah, I think it enhances the price of a ticket.
I like it a lot. I think it keeps the players playing for the whole 60 minutes and gives the fans something to watch instead of two teams trying to play for a tie the whole last period.
The off-season decision has brought the fans to their feet, something that has the league's boss beaming.
I haven't had one complaint from ownership or management about overtime, except that when their team lost, they say, I really don't like overtime. But that's the way it should be. And I certainly haven't had any complaints from the fans, and after all, that's why we put it in.
The anticlimactic tie has reduced significantly from last season. Through 722 games last year, 110 ended in ties, compared to only 77 this year. While the tie represented 15% of last season's outcomes, only 10% of this season's contests have ended without a winner.
I had a lot of fun with overtime, watching the games and also anticipating overtime in the games. Maybe they'll tie it up and we're going to go into overtime.
Here's Howe at the point. Shot wide. Fires. Poulin almost jammed it in. Now Barber with 5 seconds left. Here's Howe shooting. He scores! With 1 second left.
The masses and the management are justifiably elated over the extra session. But what does labor think about working overtime?
5 minutes isn't that long, and time seems to go so fast because you're watching the pucks even that much harder than regular game. But it seems to really fly, at least for me anyway.
I think it's good for the fans. I think it's in a way it maybe it's good for players. It gets more out of, I guess, the last 5 minutes of the game. If any indication is better, is that the fact that teams are going for the win, and they're not sitting on that 3-2 lead at the end of the game. So it makes the last 5 minutes of the game better. The rough part is that you can go in another team's rink. We went into Buffalo and we're leading the game, and it was 4-3 and they tied up 4-4 and ended up beating us 5-4, and you figure, you play 58 minutes and all of a sudden within 2 minutes you lose the game. So it's really disheartening when you're another team's rink, especially when you want that point.
But Brian, for every point in the standings lost away from home, there is the unexpected joy of turning a road tie into 2 points with a mere flick of a wrist.
Left wing moving in. Doug Wickenheiser controlling for Montreal, gives it to Walter. To Tremblay to Wickenheiser. He shoots, he scores! Doug Wickenheiser wins it in sudden death overtime.
Anytime you get a winning goal, it's nice, and in overtime it's even more so.
How about the real victim of sudden death, the man all alone, whose only protection from the anguish of losing is the mask hiding his emotion?
It's like playoff pressure. There's more pressure there than during the regular game. It's not like the first 5 minutes of the first period. It's the game's over as soon as it happens, and I've been on both ends, winning and losing, and it's great to win, and sure, it's disappointing losing.
Regular season overtime is back, but no one is sure if it's forever. ball.
There's a pass back in. Score! Sundstrom's done it again.
Well, that's some of the excitement of overtime. We enjoy it on USA Sports, and personally, I'll cast my vote very much for it. After 2 periods of play, the Oilers and Nordiques are tied 3 goals apiece. Guess what? We could have overtime tonight.
Honda would like to make a point about the new car. It goes an EPA estimated 51 miles per gallon, 67 highway. It's the #1 gas mileage car in America, period. The new Honda Civic CRX, the longest distance between 2 points.
Olympic Overcoat house paint. We've got the inside on outside protection. Inside every can of Olympic Overcoat is our 100% acrylic formula that helps protect the outside of your home from the sun's harmful rays and the damage caused by rain. Inside every can is Olympic's 50 years of experience in protecting the outside of homes. Olympic Overcoat. We've got the inside on outside protection.
We're all set for the 3rd period here at Quebec City. The game tied 3-3. Edmonton has outshot Quebec 18-12, and we're watching Gillis move the puck to Paymont on right wing, and he shot it into Moog's catching net. Moog around the boards. Pat Price pitched in, and now the penalty to Fogelin has expired. A loose puck at the side of the net covered by Andy Moog. Quebec started the period with a man advantage, and that now brings them back into even strength in a 3-3 tie. We watch Price, Gary.
Well, I think this line once again of Cote, Gillis, and Paymont, it's been consistent, just as Bergeron has said, that he wanted to try and keep them against Gretzky's line throughout the course of the game.
Both teams making some changes here as you look at the Edmonton bench, and Big Dave Semenko instrumental in getting his Edmonton Oiler team back into the hockey game midway through the 2nd period. The face-off to the right of Moog. The puck comes back to the point and out into center ice where Lapointe recovers. Rick Lapointe's pass gobbled up by Messier. Messier tries the left wing boards, got it to Glenn Anderson. He has shot it down into the Quebec zone. Did not get across the goal line in time, so Rick Lapointe takes a look, checks out his options, and then passed it away from all of his teammates. This is Kevin Lowe. Dumps one off to the left wing side. Hunter failed to pick it up. A loose puck for McKegney. Back to Lapointe. Lapointe to McKegney on left wing. Off his stick. He and Fogelin chase it to the corner. Takes a line. The puck loose for Lowe. Bumped by Stastny, but it came around to the left wing side. Covered by Dave Hunter. Out into the center ice zone with a good pass for Hughes. Dropped it back. Hunter to the right side for Fogelin. Fogelin's shot is a stick save by Bouchard. Jimmy Mann lost it. Look out. There's Gretzky, but he's checked in front of the net. McKegney kicks the puck loose for Peter Stastny. Stastny dumps it into center ice. Quebec now trying to make a player change to counter the move of having Gretzky up there. Pozar comes in on left wing. Pozar chased back to the net. Got away from Muller. Centered one, but right to Cote. Cote at center. Pokes it between the Edmonton defense. Chasing it is Paul Coffey. Cote, right turn on him. The puck went to Paymont. Shot from a bad angle is cut off by Moog. Came right back to Paymont. The point for Price. Price is checked and will be picked up at center ice by Marois. Marois up the middle. Cote worked it to the right wing. Paul Gillis left it. Now Cote took it from Paymont. Got checked inside the line, and there's Gretzky to Curry. Gary Curry gets over the line. Chased by Marois, held on to the puck. Tees it up. Bouchard, the blocking glove save. It comes back to Coffey for a drive, and it went way wide of the net. Bounced all the way down into the Edmonton zone. Andy Moog out of the net. Cut it off. Bozard, a Coffey on the left side. Ahead for Anderson. Couldn't knock it out of the air. Bouchard moves out of the net. Let the puck go to Marois. Trying to set up Goulet on the left wing. Nothing doing there. It came loose for Goulet now. 2-on-1. He's across the line with Anton Stastny. Takes the pass. It's a score!
Quebec takes the lead on a big goal by Anton Stastny. I thought Stastny, and let's watch this replay, I thought Stastny was going to be a little bit too late coming up from behind. He took the pass on his backhand and just quickly put it on his forehand and then found room behind Moog. There you see it. He goes to the stick side. Good shot by Anton Stastny.
Great shot. Look at it from another angle here. Hits the corner perfectly. Michel Goulet setting up Anton Stastny at the 2:35 mark. So Quebec is back on top. Peter Stastny will get an assist on the goal as well. 4-3, Quebec leading now as the puck has been dumped into the Edmonton zone. Hogue moved it around. Hughes was too well covered. Dale Hunter for Quebec was knocked off the play, and the Nordiques unable to get the puck back. Randy Gregg dumps it into the Quebec zone. It's going to go wide. Comes out to Bouchard, who had to play it, thus no icing. Dory is double teamed. Hunter put it out in front of the Edmonton goal. McClellan couldn't reach it in time, and there's McKechnie out to Bo Berglund. Hooked it between the defense. Going backboard is Gregg. Randy Gregg found an opening. That's going to go the length of the ice. The point back put a stick on it. An icing call against the Edmonton Oilers. But Quebec has gone out on top again. Coast-to-coast coverage of the National Hockey League is only on the USA Network. We'll be right back.
You can pick up any soap, but can any soap pick you up?
Coast is a kick. Oh, that's sense. Coast is a kick. Invigorating, exciting, stimulating, feeling of clean.
My eyes have been opened.
Coast is a kick.
Ooh.
Coast is a kick.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Coast is a kick.
Face-off coming in the circle to the right of the net. You just saw the back of Anton Stastny. Scored his 20th goal of the year from Goulet and Peter Stastny at 2:35. Nordiques got the draw, and Goulet was hauled down immediately. A hooking penalty being called against Lee Fogelin sets up one more Quebec power play.
That's the second time that tonight that Lee Fogelin has been guilty of hauling down Goulet. You remember just in the second period that Fogelin gave Goulet a knee that sent Fogelin to the penalty box.
The NHL on USA is brought to you by Honda, maker of Motor Trend's Car of the Year, the Civic CRX. Well, they watch the Nordiques on a power play. Puck knocked down with a high stick. Gord Brosiker, the linesman, indicates the face-off, comes back into the Quebec end of the ice.
All right, now we're going to take a look at Anton Stastny's goal again. Now, I want you sitting at home to picture yourself being Anton Stastny. You're skating as hard as you possibly can. Number 20 in the white, you've got to take that pass fed across by Goulet on your backhand. Remember, you're still skating quickly. You've got to make that quick motion to your forehand and then at the same time be able to find a spot in the goal. That takes a lot of skill. Most players would have just gone to their backhand, taken the shot.
Great agility possessed by the Slovak brothers. The three of them here. Marion is out of the lineup with a shoulder injury. He was expected back tonight, but at the last minute they decided to rest him one more game at least. Quebec starting out of the power play. Mario Marois handling the puck. Got it to the left side for Dory. Now to Peter Stastny. He was checked as he came to the Edmonton line. And Lowe dumps it back into the Quebec zone. It'll be picked up by Marois. Goulet turns in the left wing corner. Moves up the boards, took the pass from Marois, then immediately to Peter Stastny, who gets over the line. Gave it to Anton, let it go, and it was blocked by Lowe. Love holds it in. Anton Stastny to Peter, back to Anton. Across it goes, Marois at the point, feeds Sauvé. And Marois shooting, moves the save. The puck goes to the corner where Goulet dumps it back in the net. Peter Stastny out to Marion, and a shot hits the side of the goal. Back come the Edmonton Oilers into the center ice zone. Messier dumps it down. Bouchard out of the net to leave it for Marois. 4-3, Quebec leading. We're in the third period. Marois head for Peter Stastny. Goes it away from the check of Hughes. Across, Sauvé unable to get a stick on it as it ricocheted off Goulet. And it's cleared down. Pat Price waits for his teammates to set up. Price gave it to McKegney, who had just come out on the ice. He's into the Edmonton zone with a pass to Sauvé on the right wing board. Centered it out in front, steered aside by Moog. Berglund with it now. Berglund to McKegney. Tony McKegney takes a look. Comes out of the corner. A pass to Sauvé. His shot was blocked. McKegney lets it go. The rebound in front. Hunter couldn't handle it as Moog had come up with a big pad save. It shot high now and into the seats at the side of the Edmonton players' bench. Still 20 seconds left in the penalty to Fogelund.
You take a look there at number 9, Tony McKegney. He's got his 20th goal for the season so far. Combined with 27 assists, 47 points, he's been a good addition to this Nordiques team. There we see the Nordiques putting on that pressure. There's only 20 seconds remaining in Lee Fogelund's penalty. Quebec, considering the fact, as Jiggs has mentioned many times, that they've got such a poor power play at home, tonight have really had a number of opportunities every time they've had the power play.
There's Dory with a blast. Six-hand save by Moog. Yes, it's not as if they're not getting any chances. This is their 5th power play, 10 seconds remaining in it. They haven't been able to cash anything in. Price picks up the puck deep in his own zone. Fogelund ready to step out on the ice. Andre Dory with it now. The team's at 6 aside again. Dory to Price. Price into the Edmonton zone. A pass off the boards for McKegney. Got wrapped up by Huddy. And the Oilers control the puck. That's Coffey back in the net. To the right side for Lindstrom. Off his stick, right to Price. Price, a wraparound pass to Paul Berglund. Berglund can't get through the defense in front of the net. Here comes Paul Coffey. The high-scoring defenseman into the Quebec zone. Skirted around to check, but lost the puck. Dory moves it up the wing. Lindstrom held it in for Edmonton to Coffey, who goes back to the net. Turns. There's Lindstrom centering to Semenko, who scores. Semenko ties it up for the Edmonton Oilers.
Dave Semenko right in front of that net, a very favorite position of Dave Semenko. Number 27 watches. He heads straight for it, but Coffey, give him a lot of credit, because that was a pretty nice move that he made. He protected the puck by turning around, skating backwards. Right there. That pass, well, it wasn't really a pass, but the puck was laying there. Lindstrom just fired it out in front of the net area. Semenko caught Bouchard out of position and tucked it into the empty net.
Semenko's 6th goal of the season. He has an assist here tonight as well and played a big part in a come-from-behind job done by the Edmonton Oilers to this point. But at the 6-minute mark of the 3rd period, our score is tied 4-4, and Hunter has the puck. Lost it just inside the Quebec line. Is picked up by Muller. Comes out of the corner, feeding it across to Peter Stastny. Up to Anton Stastny. The return pass was intercepted, and Hughes forces Quebec to cover up. In quickly to forecheck is McClellan. Wraps the arms around the point. Hunter with the puck. His pass back was intercepted. Anton Stastny ahead for Goulet. Picking up back of the net. Just no icing. Here's Peter Stastny with it now. Beats the blue line. LaPointe with a drive. Cut by Moog, and he'll hold it for a face-off. With the score tied 4-4, we'll pause and be right back to the Coliseum, Quebec City.
The line. The hood line is low for less wind resistance and more visibility. The roof line is long for more headroom and usable space. The outline is aerodynamic for more performance. The new line of Civic hatchbacks from Honda. The line is drawn for the future.
There he is, number 99, Wayne Gretzky. Leads the league in a lot of departments, but not in shots on goal, Gary. Ray Bourque leads the league in that area.
That's very surprising, isn't it?
Murray is across the line with a drive that's grabbed by Bouchard. He dropped it for Marois. Up the left side, Coche nudged it out into center ice. Paymont came over but couldn't knock it away from Lowe. So the Nordiques are forced to go back. Marois uses the boards to give it to Pat Price. Back to Marois. Tries to come out on the left side. Paymont got it across to Coche. Coche put it right on Gretzky's stick as he was back checking. Now to Curry. Dumped it in, intended for Bozar. Bouncing puck that he couldn't handle, and out comes Paul Gillis. They've got Gillis, Cote, and Paymont working on this Gretzky line with Curry and Bozar at the moment. Loose puck in the Edmonton end of the ice. It'll be picked up by Gretzky. Tipped it instead to Lowe. Now to Pozar. Across to Yari Curry on right wing. Curry taken off the puck by Rochefort's check. 4-4 tie. The Nordiques trying to come out of their own end. Berrois pass, and two Oilers collided as Anderson and Huddy went down. And here's Gillis to Cote. Cote back to Gillis, and it was spinning off the catching, or the blocking glove at least, of Vogue. It ends up in the right wing boards and underneath Charlie Huddy.
Well, we're going to start wondering who's covering who out there tonight, because once again, some great offensive action out of that line of Cote, Gillis, and Paymont. There you see an excellent opportunity. Actually, it was the Edmonton player that came back and was deflecting that puck. He was trying to deflect it and knock it out of the air. Instead, he almost put it in his own net. Andy Moog coming up with the save.
Paul Gillis, who got the scoring parade started tonight for Quebec. An assisted goal at the 42-second mark back in the opening period. He has an assist as well. The face-off is to the right of the Edmonton goal. Just over 12 minutes left in the third period. We're tied 4-4. Peter Stastny, Anton Stastny on the right, Goulet on the left side, and the puck goes to the corner. Huddy and Anton Stastny bumped. There's Lumley feeding it to Coffey. A long pass blocked at the blue line. Lumley got a stick on it, gave it to Anderson. He's over the line with Messier and Lumley. The pass to Messier. Lets the shot go, and Anderson, or Lumley at least, unable to tip it by Bouchard. A great opportunity again for the Edmonton Oilers. For our local stations, we'll pause now. The National Hockey League is coming your way on the USA Network.
At Harvey Buick, we know that good service means more than just friendly personal attention. It also means keeping up with the latest in automotive service technology and keeping enough parts on hand to do the job today. Good service means convenience. Our computer schedules a specific appointment for your car and tells you what time your car will be ready for pickup. At Harvey Buick, good service means technology and people working together to provide the best care for your automobile.
Look again at Wayne Gretzky, the Edmonton Oilers bench. Gretzky has a goal tonight, giving him 82 on the season. Also 899 career points in the regular season. Not this year, his career. Goulet is across the line with a pass to Anton Stastny. To Peter, went to the backhand, and Huddy took it away from him. Charlie Huddy around to Glenn Anderson on left wing. Messier comes over center ice. Sent it to the right side. Huddy drops it to Messier. Across, and Anton Stastny broken up, and here's Coffey moving in. Got checked by Dory. Anton Stastny moving out. Was tripped up. There'll be a delay penalty in effect. Peter Stastny moves in deep. Rounds the net, comes in. He scores! Pretty play by number 26, Peter Stastny, and Quebec is back on top. It's now 5-4.
Well, we heard Dr. Randy Gregg explain that the Edmonton Oilers offense was a five-man offense. That includes their defenseman. Well, Charlie Huddy got caught up in this play. Delayed penalty coming at that, but look at the beautiful move Peter Stastny makes. He just tucks it neatly in there. There he goes, right down that left wing side. He really faked out Moog initially. I think Moog expected him to shoot, got caught way over to his right. Stastny fooled him.
40th goal of the year for that man, Peter Stastny, at 8:51. Assist to Anton Stastny and Andre Dory. It's 5-4 Quebec. Locked up down into the Edmonton end of the ice. They try to move it around to Lindstrom on right wing. He just dumped it into center ice, and Rochefort was back to McKegney, who has fired it in wide of Andy Moog. Greg in a race for it. That's tied up by Bo Berglund. The puck comes out of the corner. Hunter unable to make the play. Now Rochefort at the blue line to McKegney. McKegney over on left wing, trying to get in around the defense. Comes to the near corner. Was knocked down at the last second by Chartrand. McKegney recovers his balance. Comes out on the far side. Put it right into the goal mouth. And Bo covers up for a face-off. Quebec putting on pressure here. They're up 5-4, trying to extend that lead.
Now this young man here, Dale Hunter, he's a real aggressive center iceman that just shows tremendous determination out there. There you see Tony McKegney showing a little determination himself. He gets knocked down, gets right back up, carries that puck around from behind the net. Tried to pull a Peter Stastny, but wasn't quite as fortunate as Stastny. Moog was expecting it.
Well, we promised a high-scoring game at the outset tonight. It's beginning to live up to the advanced billing, but still the threat of overtime midway through the third period, only a one-goal lead. 8 of the last 17 games in the league have gone to overtime, and all 8 have been decided.
That's very amazing statistic, Jake. It just shows you as well the pressure that's involved in the race for the playoffs and the positionings that it involves.
Now Linsman comes down the right side for Edmonton, trying to get around Andre Dory, cuts to the left, lets the puck go, and it was off Anton Stastny. Dory takes the man, Stastny took the puck, couldn't get it to Peter. Here's Linsman, backhanded one that was steered aside by Bouchard. Dory takes an elbow from Semenko in his effort to clear the puck out. Dory into the center ice zone. Goulet had trouble picking it up. This is Randy Gregg. Gregg fires one in right to Bouchard. Daniel Hector Bouchard worked it to the left side for Goulet. Now sticks up back in the Edmonton zone. Linsman and Peter Stastny looking at one another. The linesmen get in between them. Referee Andy Van Helleman indicating that there will be some penalties handed out here. We're a little more than midway through the third period. We'll be back as the National Hockey League continues on USA.
If you're one of the many people whose life insurance needs are changing today, check with State Farm.
I'm State Farm agent Jim Scally. In today's economy, people's life insurance needs are changing, and State Farm is changing to meet those needs. We have a variety of life insurance products, all at a good price. We'll help you plan the program that's right for you, and we'll be there to help you keep it up to date. Check with State Farm.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Oh, a picture of Gaetan Boucher hanging here at the Quebec Coliseum. He might not make a bad left winger himself, Jig.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Speed to burn, I'm sure, would be the scouting report on him. Peter Stastny and Ken Linsman got mixed up, and the only penalty apparently is to Stastny, called at the 10-16 mark, a high sticking penalty, giving Edmonton the man advantage. The puck went right to Bouchard in the Quebec net, and he has dumped it down the ice. Curry is out with Coffey, Messier, Gretzky, and Anderson for Edmonton. Cote and Gillis into forecheck for the Nordiques. Pass up the left side for Anderson. Across to Wayne Gretzky. Drop pass. They leave it again for Coffey. Over to Curry. Lets the shot go and without the heel of his stick. Gillis picked it up. Paul Gillis bumped on the boards. Gretzky battling for it. Got it to Anderson to the side of the net for Messier. To Gretzky. Back to Messier. Checked by Price. Loose puck. Anderson battles for it back of the net. Couldn't get it to Messier. Anderson once more. Turns in the far corner. Gave it to Messier. Mark Messier tied up immediately by Price. Now the puck moves for Anderson. Comes out of the corner to Gretzky at the side of the net. Gretzky centers off Bouchard's stick, and then it was shot high by Coffey. And ricochets down into the Quebec zone. Coffey picks it up. Wheels over the center ice stripe. Paul Coffey in on left wing now. Looks for somebody in front. At the blue line, Curry working it back and forth with Gretzky. This is Curry to Gretzky. Gretzky to the corner. Coffey comes back to pick up the point position. Gave the puck to Gretzky. Now to Curry. Curry at the side of the net for Messier. Centered it in front. It was Linsman rather, and he was checked. Kenny Linsman to Wayne Gretzky. Out to Linsman, who knocked it down. Couldn't get a shot away. It's smothered by Bouchard, and there's no further play. 21 seconds remaining in the penalty to Peter Stastny. Quebec setting up that power play beautifully, but no results thus far.
Meanwhile, Marois and Price were having some words with Ken Linsman. In fact, they were doing a little shoving and pushing there. Ken Linsman holding his cool, though. Linsman usually a very penalized player. But he knows the benefit right now of keeping his cool and keeping this power play going for the Edmonton Oilers. 21 seconds remaining yet on Peter Stastny's penalty. Very important for the Nordiques to kill this one off.
A three-way trade that benefited all three teams a couple of years ago. Mark Howe going to Philadelphia, Linsman over to Hartford, and eventually on to Edmonton, in return for Risto Siltanen, who has sparkled for Hartford, although they don't appear to be destined for the playoffs again this year. There's Savard killing off the penalty, lofting it out into the center ice zone. Gillis knocked it down, lost his balance in pursuit of the puck, and back comes Paul Coffey. It slipped off his stick and shot down the boards by Dory. That will kill off the penalty against Peter Stastny. Now 7 minutes and 42 seconds left in the third period. Quebec 5, Edmonton 4 as Lindstrom turns with the puck. Eddie Lindstrom over center ice. And checks finally at the Quebec blue line. The puck picked up by Peter Stastny. Around the boards, gave it to Rochefort. Up to Goulet, dumps it into center ice. Savard couldn't get a stick on it. Peter Stastny did, but put it over the glass and into the seats at the side of the penalty box. Peter Stastny with a big goal at 8:51, putting Quebec back on top, Gary.
Well, Peter Stastny so far this year, second in scoring this team, behind Michel Goulet, but only by 1 point entering this game anyway. He's got 39 goals, 69 assists, 7:20 remaining in tonight's game.
Edmonton down by a goal, trying to come out of their own end of the ice, mishandled the puck. Chartrand chases it. Chartrand put it right on Goulet's stick, a drive, grab by Moog, and he'll hold it for a face-off. Now have 7 minutes and 7 seconds left in the third period.
That power play seemed to get Edmonton skating and passing a little bit better than they had earlier in the game. First period, they seemed to be a little bit sluggish. Second period, they really came alive. They are such an explosive team that with 7 minutes and 7 seconds remaining yet, we just never know what this score could yet be.
You know, one of the strange things when you look at Edmonton and Quebec over the years, while Edmonton has won the last 3 games against the Nordiques, their lifetime record is 7 wins, 8 losses, and 1 tie against Quebec. Apparently, the Nordiques have had some mastery until the last season or two. Peter Stastny will face off for the Quebec Nordiques. Hold the draw back. The point shot was off the stick of Moog. Ends up in the near corner, fed up the boards for Randy Gregg. Out to center ice, the pass to McClellan, comes over the line. McClellan's shot went wide of Bouchard. Here's Hunter for Edmonton. Sets up the play with a pass into the corner out in front, but didn't arrive for Hunter. Hunter works it back of the net. McClellan and Hughes get after it. McClellan takes a hard check from Muller, and the puck is sprung loose for Anton Stastny. Across to the left wing for Goulet. Goulet, one of the best left wingers in the league, trying to get in around Hughes. He was slashed, and Hughes is going to go off. Hughes broke his stick on that slash. Goulet is upset, looking for Pat Hughes. Referee Andy Van Helleman has already ticketed Hughes for the penalty box. And heated words exchanged just inside the Quebec blue line, but nothing further. For our local systems, we'll pause now. The National Hockey League is coming your way on USA.
Discover television worth watching during Festival 84 on public television. It's breathtaking and adventurous. It's musical and delightful.
You know, I never heard my father say a curse word in his life.
Obviously, you never played gin with him.
It's television worth watching. Festival 84, now through March 18th on public television.
The penalty is to Pat Hughes. 2 minutes for slashing at 13:31 of this third period. Hughes, who will be 29 on the 25th of this month, a week from this coming Sunday, sits out the penalty, giving Quebec their 6th power play chance. They pounce on it deep in the Edmonton zone, but couldn't control it. Here's Marois at center. He and Price on the point. They have Sauvé working up front along with Paymont and Goulet. Sauvé took the pass from Marois. Crossed the line, unable to set up Paymont, who was open on right wing. Marois drops it back for Pat Price. Price to Marois. To Sauvé. He's into the Edmonton zone with a pass to Goulet on left wing. Back to Sauvé. Got tied up with Lowe. A battle for the puck. It went to the Oilers. Gretzky over on right wing. Now to Yari Curry. Works one-on-one with Marois. He gets to the blue line. Tees it up, and the shot went wide. So along the ice, but just to the left side of Bouchard. McKegney unable to pick it up. Here's Price for Quebec to Marois. Marois, good play for McKegney. Comes over the line, working on Vogelin of Edmonton. Around behind the net, that's Paymont with it now. Back to the point. Across to Marois, into Paymont. Out of Rick Lapointe. Lapointe being watched by Gretzky, elected to give it to Marois, then in along the boards. Peter Stastny to Marois, and he shot it wide. Rolls off the mesh at the back of the net. It'll be picked up by Fogelin. Gave it to Wayne Gretzky on right wing. Gretzky turned and flipped it down inside the Quebec zone. 30 seconds left in this power play as McKegney gets loose on left wing, walks in, shoots, pad save by Moog. Rebound back of the net now, controlled by Coffey. Coffey played it off Lapointe at the blue line and ricocheted to Linsman on left wing. Up comes Coffey as well. The pass to Coffey, shoots and scores! Short-handed goal for Paul Coffey, and we're tied 5-5.
You know, Jiggs, I was just about to say that seeing how the Quebec Nordiques were having such a tough time scoring in the power play, they just better make sure defensively. The thought never quite got out, but the action sure did. Coffey streaking up that right side. Great pass he receives, and he just picked that corner beautifully. Linsman, who's really played well, especially this third period, he's really shown some great spark. Fed Coffey with a beautiful pass.
Paul Coffey getting his 36th goal of the season. The first short-handed goal for Paul Coffey, and one more notch in an Edmonton record in the National Hockey League book for short-handed goals in a season. Linsman gets the only assist. 10 seconds remaining in the penalty against Hughes. And now a 5-5 tie here in Quebec City as Rochefort gave the puck to Dory. Hunter for Quebec into center ice. Oh, what a collision as Fogelin cut in front of Berglund. The team's at 6 aside again. Linsman feeds it to Hunter. Hunter for Edmonton, shot it up into the seats. But off Dory's stick as he poked it out in front of him. We now have 4 minutes and 19 seconds left here. There are 3 other games in the National Hockey League. Let's get an update on the scores. Here's Al.
All right, Jiggs, we've got 2 scores to update you on. Third period at the Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford. The Islanders have scored 4 straight. They lead the Devils 5-1 now. That'll take some heat off the pressure applied by Washington. And in the second period, the Hartford Whalers and St. Louis Blues, no score. St. Louis trails second place Detroit and the Norris by 2 points.
Later tonight out on the West Coast, the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Vancouver Canucks. And here we're faced with the final 4 minutes and 19 seconds of the third period. And a 5-5 tie between the Nordiques and the Oilers. Anton Stastny and Glenn Anderson exchanging some words as they lined up for the face-off. The 2 linesmen came over to listen in. Now they're set for the drop of the puck. Messier and Peter Stastny went back to Rochefort. Around to Goulet on left wing. Lumley stole it. Lumley to Messier. In front to Anderson. Got tied up by Dory, and Goulet picks up the puck. Over the center ice stripe. Michel Goulet fires one, cut by Moog, and he'll hold it for a face-off. We're down to the final 4 minutes of this third period. USA Sports is bringing you the National Hockey League, and we'll be right back.
Jump into a key matchup Wednesday on USA Special Edition NBA. Sidney Moncrief, Marcus Johnson, and the Bucks look to shoot to the top in the Midwest when they battle Dr. J, Moses, and the Sixers. USA Special Edition NBA, an early symptom of playoff fever. At 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. May not be seen in some areas.
What does John Cougar Mellencamp have that Ronald Reagan wants? Find out on Radio 1990 at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific on USA tomorrow.
Face-off coming to the right of the Edmonton goal. Hunter on the draw for Quebec. It got tangled up in some skates. So they'll do it all over again. Exactly 4 minutes remaining in the third period. Hunter and McClelland on the draw. Loose puck. Berglund had it, lost it. There's Hunter for Edmonton. Dave Hunter and Dale Hunter, who plays for Quebec, brothers. There's one other in the league at Montreal. He's had a tough season with injuries, however. Now Dale Hunter checked. That's Dave Hunter for Edmonton. Went off the Cagney stick. So the Oilers come to center ice. Hughes lost it, picked it up again, and shot it wide of the net. Rick Lapointe rounds the goal. Sends McKegney out on left wing. It's over the Edmonton line. The puck knocked away from him by Chartrand. Hoffey trying to pick it up. McKegney right on top of him. There's Paul Coffey, double team, trying to freeze it on the boards, cannot do it. Bozar ties up Kegney, and there's no further play. We haven't seen a whole lot of Bozar tonight, Gary.
No, we haven't, but then again, I don't think Wayne Gretzky's line has really been all that effective out there tonight, and Bozar's been somewhat juggled back and forth, as we probably expected. This man here, Wilf Paymont, a very strong right winger, and I think if most center icemen out there playing against this checking line would tend to probably go down Cote's side a little bit more often than they would Big Wilf Paymont.
Now play gets underway. The Quebec Nordiques holding the puck in. This is Cote. Back of the net, it was centered. Held in by Price. No, outside is called. The linesman, Gordon Brossiker, straddling the blue line. Did not get unanimous approval of his call, but it was a good one.
Now, as we take a look at Pat Price on the blue line, a much-traveled defenseman. Getting back to that, Gretzky's left winger. We see Semenko out there in that position right face-off outside the blue line, but I think that they really could utilize a big, strong left winger that possibly could score them 30 or 40 goals. I don't think Dave Semenko fits in that category. Maybe a Clark Gillies from 6 or 7 years ago?
Yes, indeed. Gretzky had his play broken up in the Quebec end of the ice. The puck came loose. Paymont back to Price. He and Marois together on defense. Gillis, Cote moving up along with Paymont. The puck loose behind the Edmonton goal. They shoot it around the boards. Here's Semenko on left wing. He's played an instrumental part in this game tonight for Edmonton. Price to Marois. Now ahead for Paul Gillis across the left wing. There's Cote trying to get in around Huddy. Huddy steered him to the corner. Gretzky comes in trying to pry the puck off the boards. Could not. Paymont fed it to Rochefort. Lets the shot go, and it's grabbed by Moog. He tossed it off for Lowe. Kevin Lowe to Mark Messier. Now to Yari Curry. Curry to Messier. Cuts to the right. The pass off Linsman skates. Recovered by Anton Stastny. 4 Oilers back. He dropped it to Peter Stastny. Over the line he comes. Peter Stastny stick handling in. Centered one, and it was shot wide by Goulet. Anderson out of the right wing corner. Got it into the center ice area. Dory back on the Quebec defense. Up it went to Anton Stastny. To Goulet. Had trouble with it. Now brings it over the line. Goulet shot it around the boards. It'll be picked up on left wing by Messier. 1 minute and 40 seconds left. 5-5 tie in Quebec City. Messier for the Oilers to Anderson. He lets the shot go, and it missed on the glove side. Vogelin was too well covered. The Stastny brothers move it back and forth. Anton Stastny cuts it around the defense, and it's kept in the last second by Lowe. 1 minute and 22 seconds left in the third period. Dory with the puck out of center ice. The pass to McKegney, but offside is called. Linsman and Peter Stastny were pushing at one another. Peter did not get back onside. Now everybody is converged in a small area just inside the Quebec blue line.
Peter Stastny and Ken Linsman have had something going for at least the last 20 to 25 minutes. Right now, Peter Stastny getting out of it, going to the bench. That's a smart move because one can ill afford to have him in the penalty box if you're trying to win a hockey game. Remember, if it does go into overtime, any penalties now would carry over into overtime. That's a great opportunity here by Anton Stastny as he moves down the right side. Look at that agility. Just walks right around Kevin Lowe. Kevin Lowe, a very sound defenseman on one-on-one situations, but Anton Stastny, with all that skill packaged up within him, he can really show some great moves.
77 seconds, all that's left in regulation time. Looking ahead to overtime, if we may. Quebec winless in 11 overtime games, 0-3-8 on the year. Edmonton has not lost an overtime game. 3 wins and 8 ties, or 5 ties, excuse me. 3 wins, 5 ties in overtime for the Oilers. Face-off is in the center ice zone. It'll be Gillis on the draw for Quebec. Paymont on the right, Cote on the left. You know automatically that Wayne Gretzky is out there for Edmonton. Hunter has moved up on the left wing, Curry on the right. Gillis dropped the puck back for Price to the left side. Cote ran into the linesman. Recovers the puck now, has to wait for his teammates to get onside, however. Marois to Price. Price flips it in wide of Andy Moog. In quickly is Paul Gillis. Play it to the side of the net. It was broken up by Hunter. Dave Hunter to Curry. Gave it to Gregg, who moves up with a pass for Gretzky. Gretzky cross to Gregg. Gillis was all over top of him, and here's Marois. Overled Paymont with the pass. The puck is loose in the Edmonton zone and will be called now for an icing situation. 42 seconds left in the third period.
Not a good move by Marois as he dumps that puck all the way down for an icing call. Paul Coffey, one of the finest offensive defensemen in the National Hockey League, out there as expected, along with Wayne Gretzky and Yari Curry. Marois' icing right now has put them somewhat in a jeopardy situation. Face-off just to the right of Bouchard.
Quebec with 13 shots here in the third period. Edmonton with 7. Now the referee going back to the Edmonton bench. Apparently the Nordiques would like to take a timeout. That's exactly what has happened here with 42 seconds left. Michel Bergeron will get an opportunity to talk to his team. Of course, it affords Glenn Sather the opportunity to do the same at the Edmonton bench.
There you see, just off to the right of Michel Bergeron, Simon Nollet, one of Michel's assistant coaches. The other one, Charlie Tifo, up in the press box area talking to Nollet on the two-way radio system. Bergeron, you can bet right now, making sure of his alignment and positioning of his players. Very key for them to make sure that they win that draw. And if they don't, they've got to know exactly where have to go, what man they're responsible for covering. And one winger has got to get out to that point if they lose the draw, and he's got to get out there quickly.
Earlier this season, the Oilers came into Quebec and beat the Nordiques 7-4. Then in December at Edmonton, the Oilers trounced the Nordiques by a score of 8-1. There's the president of the Quebec Nordiques, Marcel Lebeau. From the draw, Marois with the puck. Around the boards. In and out of the skates of Hunter, and then Gregg was right on top of him, forcing a play stoppage, and again a little shoving after the whistle. Now 36 seconds left in the period.
That's usually the move that you make if you win a draw, is utilizing those boards, except, remember, they're not in a luxury position that they can afford to just throw the puck down the ice for another icing call. Still 34 seconds.
Oh, and they coughed it up as Price tried to get it to Marois. Lady Luck smiled, and out come the Quebec Nordiques. Hunter across to Paymont. It was out of his reach, and Coffey slaps it off the boards. It'll be picked up by Marois. Checked by Anderson, then recovered and dumped it into center ice with 17 seconds left. Gregg to Gretzky, and it went off his skate. Recovered by Will Paymont. Tries the left side. That's Cote getting over the line with a long shot off the blocking glove of Moe. We have 6 seconds left. Paymont chases the puck. Paymont put it out in front. Nobody there for Quebec. And that will bring the third period to a close. The Quebec Nordiques and the Edmonton Oilers battle to a 5-5 standoff over 60 minutes and are facing overtime. Quebec going to overtime for the 12th extra period this year. Edmonton facing overtime for the 9th time. So we have overtime coming up. Before we get to that, let's go to Al Troutwing.
Right, Jigs McDonald, overtime here at Le Colisée in Quebec City. How appropriate. After the second period, we had a special feature and looked in depth at overtime and what it's done so far in the National Hockey League this year. So make this overtime number 126, and we can tell you that over 30% of the games have been decided and have not ended in ties. Now, Jigs mentioned a couple of moments ago that Quebec has not won in 11 tries in overtime and that the Edmonton Oilers have not lost in 8 tries. Let's recap the scoring from the third period. The second period ended with the score tied at 3. It was Quebec on the board first. Anton Stastny from Michel Goulet and Peter Stastny at 2:35 for Anton, his 20th of the year. Then Dave Semenko really hustled and got his 6th of the year. Ken Linsman and Paul Coffey got the assist. That made it 4-4. Quebec jumped in front 5-4 on a beautiful length of the ice rush. Well, actually from center ice. Peter Stastny, his 40th of the year from Anton Stastny and Andre Dory at 8:51. That had the crowd on their feet. But then Paul Coffey, his 36th of the year, a shorthanded goal from Kenny Linsman, who made the rush out of his own zone at 15-16, and that tied the score at 5. We have a chance to look at it. This is Ken Linsman with the puck. And as he negotiates his way through center ice, Paul Coffey is filling up the right wing. And bang, right past Dan Bouchard. And with 4 minutes and 44 seconds remaining in the game, that just about eliminated the hopes of Quebec to win this one without having to score again. A wide-open game. We talked about lots of goals in this one, and certainly I would say that 10 goals between the Edmonton Oilers and the Quebec Nordiques qualifies as a high-scoring game. So now we will see in the next 5 minutes of overtime, or maybe less, whether Quebec can win their first or whether Edmonton can keep their undefeated overtime streak going. Back to the two guys upstairs.
Well, it's a 5-minute overtime period, sudden death. We're looking at the Quebec Nordiques bench. Certainly, going to overtime is not new to either team. But a win would be something completely different, as Al pointed out, for Michel Bergeron and the Nordiques.
Okay, Jigs, we get to pick our teams here. Whoever loses buys dinner. I'll pick the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, really? It'll be a hot dog in that case. If I lose it. Long shot from the blue line, handled by Moog, and that's Coffey back of the net. Coffey across to Gregg, into the center ice area, and into the Quebec zone when Hunter to Curry, and his shot was blocked at the defense. Matt Price played it out of the reach of Paymont on right wing. Here's Gillis with it. Gillis gets over the Edmonton line, in around Coffey, and he shoots. Good save by Moog. Big rebound. Merwaz tried, missed the net. Comes back to the left side. Here's Price, but the goal is off the scoring. There's going to be a penalty as well. Paymont got jostled around in front of the net. The net came off its moorings, and Andy Van Helleman is calling an interference penalty in overtime. It'll be against Paul Coffey.
I think, Diggs, that was an excellent call. Paul Coffey intentionally took that net off the moorings, and I think that that is what he's getting the call for. Take a look at it right here. I may be wrong, but Coffey purposely shoved that net, and as a result would cause the delay of the game.
We've talked so many times tonight about the lack of goals, however, by the Quebec power play. They get another opportunity. What a time to make it work.
It really would. And, you know, you can only go blank so long on a power play, even if you don't have the greatest statistics at home, before eventually you're going to score. Then again, we have to remember the short-handed situations and how the Edmonton Oilers love to score goals while they're killing penalties.
See the linesman patching up the ice at the right goal post. 4 minutes, 28 seconds remaining in overtime. The penalty was for delay of the game. I called it interference. There was some jostling, but it had to do with the lifting of the net off the moorings by Coffey that results in this penalty.
There definitely was a situation in front of that net area where Coffey was doing a little bit of holding as well. I think out of frustration then, he just took that net right off the moorings, and as a result, the Nordiques are on the power play.
The two Stastnys and Goulet up front. Peter got the draw to Anton, to Marois at the left point. Sneaks in along the board, comes out in front with a shot. Moog to save, and he holds on. Well, they'll line up once more in the Edmonton end of the ice. Len Sather making a change. McClelland has come off the Edmonton bench. He'll replace Linsman for this faceoff.
McClelland has been excellent on faceoff so far tonight. He hasn't won a lot, but he's always tied up his man, allowing the forward or the defenseman on his team to be able to come in and pick up that loose puck.
John D'Amico won't let him have a chance here, however. McClelland and Peter Stastny are waved out of the face-off circle. Messier comes in for Edmonton. It'll be Sauvé for Quebec. Sauvé trying to pull it back. Got it to the point. Marois lets it go, and it's grabbed by Moog. Andy Moog over to McClelland, who slaps it out of there. Chasing it back is Mario Marois. Hunter comes out to replace Linsman. Marois turns at his own end of the ice, chews up some valuable time. Now the pass to Peter Stastny across. There's Sauvé coming in on right wing. Goulet heads for the front of the net. They can't get the puck to him. Lowe clears it down the ice. A minute and 23 seconds remaining in the Quebec power play. Here's Marois. They missed Peter Stastny with the pass, and a bad play, actually, for Quebec. Hunter into forecheck, trying to tie up Peter Stastny, and succeeds in getting a face-off at the Quebec end of the ice. It'll be outside the blue line, but still better than having it somewhere else.
One thing interesting about the 5-minute overtime versus the 10-minute overtime, as Michel Bergeron would tell you, you can utilize just 10 of your best players when you only have 5 minutes of overtime. If the league decided to switch to 10 minutes, that would definitely give the advantage to those teams that have much greater depth. One thing that I've heard many coaches talk about as well, a lot of people thought overtimes would be decided by the best teams in the league. Now they're questioning to whether or not it will be decided by the youngest teams in the league, legs being a factor.
Very good point. I really think there is a strong movement toward a 10-minute overtime, perhaps as early as next season, Gary. Sports and playoffs that are ahead of the USA Network play to the bitter end. Here's McKegney into the Edmonton zone. Lost it back to the net. Oilers recover, but failed to clear it out. Now Vogelin picked it up and shot it down the ice. Daniel Bouchard leaves it at the side of the goal. 40 seconds remaining in the penalty against Coffey. 5-5 tie. Hunter. Well, he got Berglund across the line. Berglund recovers the puck into the corner, and Huddy steps in front of McKegney, who recovers it now. Tony McKegney works it around to the far wing. That's Bo Berglund. Couldn't get there in time. Gretzky is checked by Price. Nordiques recover in the center ice zone. Time running down on the power play, however. Now only 14 seconds remaining in it. Anton Stastny pulled it away from Gretzky. Gave it to Price. Pat Price. The pass off the boards. Picked up by Goulet. Left side. Peter Stastny couldn't recover. Stastny worked it back of the net. Lowe was there. Aims at 6 aside again. Kevin Lowe up to Gretzky. Now to Curry. Curry, good play for Coffey, who comes over the line. In front to Gretzky and his backhander. Bouchard blocks it with the left hand and then covered up on the puck.
Just as the penalty was over, the Edmonton Oilers get their offensive opportunity in overtime. Jakes, if I was the Quebec Nordiques right now and as coach of them, I think it would be very important, much more important than just the 2 points to win this game in overtime right now, for the main reason that you can't afford to enter playoffs with your team knowing that they have not won in overtime all year long. It's just like a jinx. There you see that move of Gretzky, the save of Bouchard. Bouchard has played very well in tonight's game. He's had a heck of a season.
He really has. The second highest win total in the league. A lot of years in the National Hockey League, starting out with the Atlanta Flames after a great American Hockey League season with the Boston Braves back in 1971-72. He's had some bad raps over the years, but certainly has come into his own here in his native province of Quebec. Great chance here for Quebec, and they Peter Stastny to came on, he missed the net. Oh my, wide open on right wing and misfired. Cote tips it back to the blue line. Marois turns, shoots, that went wide. Cote and Messier to the boards together. Paymock got a stick on it, couldn't hold the puck. And the Oilers, Coffey has shot it down the ice. A race for it, roots for it back. Touches up, we'll get a face-off deep in the Edmonton zone. 1 minute and 44 seconds left in the overtime period.
Once again, overtime is proved to us that it's exciting. We take a look at someone, Norman Rochefort, that has been worked well in overtime. There's Paymont's shot. Boy, will he be kicking himself right now. He had a glorious opportunity to win this game for the Nordiques. Something they need to do badly.
That jinx may already be haunting this Quebec team, Gary.
You've got to think that way anyway, because sitting there on the bench, having not won on all of those overtime experiences.
Edmonton got the puck following the face-off. It's low on the left wing boards, out to center ice to Hughes. It's back as Hughes tries to cut in off the wing. Waits for some help now. Centers, and was broken up by Goulet. Goulet dumps it into center ice. Lowe has to chase it. Peter Stastny right on top of him. Lowe banks it off the boards, and it's cleared out into center ice. The point to Anton Stastny. Put it right on Kevin Lowe's stick. Recovered at center ice. Peter Stastny to Goulet on left wing. Goulet can't get it to Stastny. It comes outside the line, picked up by Dory. 1 minute and 7 seconds left in overtime. The puck loose. Moving up is Dory. Steps it over the line, passes it to Goulet on right wing. Goulet bumps into Lowe, and there's Hunter for Edmonton. A long pass out of the reach of Pat Hughes. 52 seconds left in overtime. Lowe with the puck. Edmonton with an extra man on the ice and got away with it. The fans were trying to draw it to the officials' attention. Nothing doing. Cote to Gillis. Off his stick it goes. Picked up by Coffey. Rounds the net with 35 seconds. Long pass to Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky over the line with Gary Curry. Gretzky holding on to the puck. Left it for Gregg. Gregg over to the far side. Coffey shot. He scores! Oh, Coffey puts it over Bouchard's shoulder. 4 minutes and 35 seconds of overtime. And the Quebec Nordiques go down to defeat once more in overtime. Edmonton wins for the 4th time. They're 4-0-5 in the extra period. Quebec falls to a record of no wins, 4 losses, and 8 ties. Oh, Paul Coffey putting it over the shoulder of Bouchard. Terry?
Wayne Gretzky setting this play up. Randy Gregg makes an excellent move here, but the offensive magician, Paul Coffey, how he found room there, I'm just not quite sure. Let's take a look at it one more time. Pozar got knocked down in front of the net. That didn't help Bouchard's concentration by any stretch of the imagination, but just a beautiful shot right up underneath of his arm.
Coffey's second goal of the night, his 37th of the season. Gretzky gets to the point, giving him 900 in his career. But Paul Coffey is our player of the game as the Edmonton Oilers come into Quebec and defeat the Nordiques. The final score here tonight, Edmonton 6, Quebec 5. We'll have more coming your way in just a moment.
East Point, Maine and Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. East Point means a New England clam bake, summer fun and food at its best. And Milwaukee means beer, cold, crisp, Old Milwaukee beer, and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
And Old Milwaukee.
And Old Milwaukee Light.
Taste as great as their name.
You know, guys, it doesn't get any better than this.
Do you know how many of these motor oils would love to make this claim? Well, this one can. Mobil 1. Now, Mobil 1 and our other fine motor oils come in this easy-pour, resealable plastic container. Mobil Motor Oil. Now it's easier to use than ever.
Out in the West, where Levi Strauss & Company began, a man expects his clothes to keep him comfortable and free as the wind. So he wears a Levi's action suit, knowing he'll feel as good as he looks. Because of the waistband that moves right with it. Because of the fabric that gives. In a Levi's action suit, a man can go comfortably anywhere and do it in style. From Levi's Menswear.
When tax time hits, so does the paperwork. That's when you need this, the Texas Instruments Printing Calculator. It turns all your facts and figures into one permanent record. And since it's portable, you can use it anywhere. This tax season, get the Texas Instruments Calculator that can get it all together for you. The portable, affordable TI 5030 from Texas Instruments.
Coming up at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight on USA, stay tuned for the pre-Olympic show, Dreams of Gold. Then at 11, another thriller tape with the Alfred Hitchcock Hour. And at midnight, it's the 43rd annual Daytona 200 Motorcycle Classic from Daytona International Speedway in Florida. That all begins at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, right here on USA. And on USA Tonight, we saw the Edmonton Oilers defeat the Quebec Nordiques by a score of 6-5, thanks in part to this man, Paul Coffey, who had 2 goals, 3 assists, the game winner. But it didn't begin with such great statistics. That overtime started with you in the penalty box.
No, not at all. I think the penalty I took, there was quite a bit of an argument about, but I did deserve the penalty. Andy Van Helden made a good call. It was a bonehead play on my part, and I owe a lot of credit to the 10 or 8 guys, whoever were killing the penalty out there, did a hell of a job.
Oh, bonehead, you came back and won the game. Let's take a look at the overtime winner with inside of a minute remaining in overtime. This is going to be Paul Coffey. Gretzky began the play. He found Randy Gregg, and the doctor fed Paul Coffey.
Yeah, I had the puck behind our net, and I just gave it right up the middle to Wayne. And he attracts so much attention. He just held on to it, and Randy Gregg moved up, and I yelled so fast, and he made a super play to me, and I just didn't even look. The puck was ahead of me. I just tried to get it on net, and fortunately it went in.
Now, Paul, 2 goals, 3 assists. That gives you 111 points on the year. That's better than 100 points. You're only the 3rd defenseman in NHL history to reach that, with Dennis Potvin and Bobby Orr being the others. That's some pretty fine company for you.
Yeah, I've been fortunate. I've been injury-free the whole year, and I've had a fairly consistent year. I think any points I get or any stuff I do out there, I owe a lot to the 20 guys in the team. We got 20 great hockey players, and playing with these guys, it makes it a lot easier.
Now going into the playoffs, Jiggs McDonald and Gary Green were upstairs talking about the confidence this team must have, not knowing that it has not lost an overtime game this year.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's only a 5-minute deal, but I mean, anytime you're in overtime and you do win the game, it's a big thing for the team. And tonight we're down a couple goals and we came back, and we've been a fighting team all year. We've
had first place clinched for a while, but we've been motivating ourselves, and so far we're going to try to hit our peak and go into the playoffs with it.
And I think that's important for your team. Well, I'm sorry you got your first chipped tooth in tonight's game, but a very important win for your team.
Thanks very much.
Paul Coffey, defenseman for the Edmonton Oilers, scoring the game winner in overtime tonight, 6-5. And for being selected USA's MVP, we'd like him to have from Toyota and the local Toyota dealers a great-looking reversible ski vest from Toyota's fine line of sportswear, and from Levi's, a pair of Levi's Action jeans. From rodeo to ice rinks, they've been the choice of winners for 130 years, because with Levi's jeanswear, quality never goes out of style. Thanks again to Paul Coffey and to the Edmonton Oilers, who win tonight over Quebec 6-5 in overtime. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. By Mobile Detergent Gasoline, power for your everyday driving needs. By the all-new Toyota Corolla Sport Liftback, reborn for 1984, now at your local Toyota dealer. And by Levi's Menswear, makers of Levi's Action Slacks and Action Jeans. A reminder, we'll have two key matchups for you next week. On Sunday night from the Capitol Center, the St. Louis Blues go up against the Washington Capitals. Then on Monday night NHL, the Chicago Blackhawks meet the Montreal Canadiens. All on USA, where again you'll see the Stanley Cup playoffs right on through the finals, right here on USA Sports. Until then, for Jiggs McDonald and Dan Kelly, who'll return next week, and for Gary Green, I'm Al Trowick saying bonsoir from Quebec City, Quebec. The executive producer for USA Sports is Jim Drake. Tonight's game was produced by Mark D. Stolberger and directed by Jacqueline Bouchard. USA Sports associate producer is Tim Rapley, and our production coordinator is Barbara Travers. The National Hockey League is a sports presentation of USA.
Japanese imports could rise. That story and more next.
The Wall Street Journal Late News with William Bruce, brought to you by Ford Motor Company. You're going to love the quality. At Ford, quality is job one.
You're gonna love it. The sleek shape makes this car handle like a dream. You'll need only 11 horsepower to maintain a speed of 50 miles per hour. You're going to love the shape.
Based on a survey of owner-reported problems during the first 3 months of use, Ford Motor Company is building the highest quality cars and trucks of any U.S. manufacturer.
You're gonna love the quality Ford. Quality is job one.
I love it.
Good evening, everyone. If Malcolm Baldrige has his way, limits on Japanese auto imports would end. The Commerce Secretary says Detroit has had enough time to become competitive. There's no word yet on the official White House position. The garment industry is the latest to feel the pinch of competition from imports. Foreign clothes grabbed half the U.S. market last year. That's the word from the International Ladies Garment Workers. Now this message.
Experience the values of Bermuda. Carefree Bermuda. Rewarding Bermuda. Experience the values of Bermuda right now. See your travel agent.
Conservation is out as far as some utilities are concerned. They've started big ad campaigns to get you to use more energy. That's because competition among utilities has slowed their profit growth. If you're bugged by bugs, don't expect to get rid of them easily. Many insects are resistant to bug sprays, and some are more than that. Cockroaches, for example, are considered strong enough to survive even a nuclear blast. On Wall Street, stock prices gained today for the second day in a row. The Dow Jones Industrial Average picked up almost 10 points in heavy trading of more than 102 million shares. For the Wall Street Journal, I'm William Bruce. Thanks for joining us, and good night.
We now join our program, already in progress.
Men's long jump. In our world of endless imagination, anything can happen. And those of you who wear Levi's jeans know what I'm talking about. Because anywhere our minds can go, we can follow too. Go ahead, chase a dream in Levi's jeans. In our world of endless imagination, anything can happen. And those of you who wear Levi's jeans know what I'm talking about. Because anywhere our minds can go, we can follow too. Go ahead, chase a dream in Levi's jeans.
You're watching the USA Network. Smile. Candid Cameras on USA. Expect the unexpected with Alan Font on Candid Camera at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific weekdays.
Every week on the USA Network, master storyteller Alfred Hitchcock spins tales of intrigue and suspense. Beware, as mystery and mayhem lurk in the everyday world. Watch out for the Alfred Hitchcock Hour, only on the USA Network. Check listings if you dare.
Women's hurdle. Ice hockey.
The playing lineup consists of the goalkeeper, right defense, left defense, right wing, center, left wing.
Men's high jump. Women's figure skating.
Taken into consideration during judging are the skater's starts, carriage, speed, the shape and symmetry of the figure, and the cleanness of the edges and turns.
Men's parallel bars. In our world of endless imagination, anything can happen. And those of you who wear Levi's jeans know what I'm talking about. Because anywhere our minds can go, we can follow too. Go ahead, chase a dream in Levi's jeans.
Bet you don't have pan pizza in Sweden, eh, Sven?
Pan pizza?
No, your first pan pizza at Pizza Hut. You're not gonna believe it. It's one you won't forget. For you, Sven?
We got a large.
That cheese, everlasting memories. Please. Lots of tasty toppings of.
So what do you think of American cuisine?
Good. Yeah. At your hometown Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Out in the West, where Levi Strauss & Company began, a man expects his clothes to keep him comfortable and free as the wind. So he wears a Levi's action suit, knowing he'll feel as good as he looks. Because of the waistband that moves right with it. Because of the fabric that gives. In a Levi's action suit, a man can go comfortably anywhere and do it in style. From Levi's menswear.
Where do you turn when you want to get healthy, get some advice, make your home nice, take in a movie, dance to something groovy 24 hours a day, USA. Entertain the kids with stories and fun. Reach and teach. The action's just begun. Stay up to the minute on music and news. Then it's frights, flights, fights, nights. Award-winning features, specials, and shorts. Live Major League primetime sports. It's entertainment, information nationwide each day, 24 hours, USA.
Men's hurdle.
In the 400-meter hurdle race, there are 10 hurdles to jump. The first is 57 yards from the start. The next 8 hurdles are each 45 yards apart.